stoked, man. Like following your stuff on YouTube and getting to come out and see all this, especially that you're here, not far from me. Mm-hmm. Very, very cool.
Yeah, man. And you're welcome to like come out and try to get your bearings back on jumping shit.
I'll have to get a bike that's more appropriate.
This line over here is not bad. It's all tabletops. You just roll in from up there and you just cruise down. There's like a drop at the very, very bottom. But
right.
It's all tabletops. There's like a wooden tabletop on it. It's easy. And then you just gain your bearings. You just figure out like...
Right. That's the thing. I don't have enough reps on to be good on it.
Yeah. And that's just one of those things where it's not like you can't learn it. You just have to keep doing it. No. Or you can't learn it from like a YouTube video.
Well, you don't get to jump slow.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
You can jump slow to gain like the pull and the feeling of how it goes, but you're never gonna.
But on like even on a really tiny kicker, it's not the same feel.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't quite scale.
I mean, dude, that's how I started though. Like before I built any of this, like I had like, it might even be laying around somewhere. Anyway, just a little like kid's plastic kicker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I saw it as we went and walked around.
And then I've got another little ramp over there, and I just stuck them next to each other, started pulling up, got over it. Okay, push them a little further. And then it was like, man, I should just build something over there. and then
here we are.
It started doing that. Yeah. I mean, I built for probably 2 years before I even did the YouTube channel. No
kidding.
Yeah, I was like, and then I got on YouTube because I was always like, okay, how do I build the tabletop? Like, what's the good dimensions for that? And you never found anything. So it was like, okay, well, I don't know how to build any of this stuff, but I'm going to sure as hell document it until I figure it out.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, well, people like this because nobody else is doing it yet.
Right. Isn't that such an interesting thing that YouTube has become this like DIY guide?
Yes.
For learning this.
Everything.
Man, I fully believe like the whole YouTube University aspect, like it's all there. I mean,
yeah, that's what.
And a lot more functional things than I believe our current education system offers.
Well, you're getting what I assume, not for every video, of course, but the majority are like these masters. You get to learn from a master straight to the point. You're not having to go through all this bullshit that's like a homework assignment and blah, 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 blah. And most of the teachers in college and whatnot are like just following a book that somebody else wrote.
Well, that and our education system is built on retaining information to pass a test.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of what YouTube's been, especially for people like us who get obsessed, that, man, you can dive into that rabbit hole and you can gather so much information quickly. And it's a visual thing. It's not a reading thing. Like, it speaks to our generation perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how old are you?
28.
Okay, so I've got almost 10 years on you. All right.
Old.
There's a lot of miles. There's a lot of miles on this body. I have days I feel old, and then based on what I do for a living, like, I definitely don't feel like an adult.
Oh,
I have some adult responsibilities.
I mean, does anybody ever feel like an adult?
I think like, when you have kids.
But even then, like, I'll talk to my grandma, and she's like, I still feel like a kid. It's like, I don't think it ever goes away entirely. But
yeah, it shouldn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't. But I feel like the kid feeling is like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of rolling with things.
Dude, that was a big eye-opening thing for me. Like, I remember when I'd reached the age that my parents were when they had me. And then I remember just being like, oh my God, you guys had no idea what you're doing.
Right.
Because I don't have any clue what's going on in my life.
What does that say about you? Like, if they had this kid and they did it fine, you're a fine individual.
Right. We're pretty resilient.
But, like, I think you figure it out. You pop a kid out and you're like, okay, well, now I'm doing this.
Yeah, luckily they're more resilient and springy and sponge-like than
you can bounce around.
You get a couple good drops. It's like it's like a new iPhone. You know, it's not going to break on the first drop, but you got a couple.
It's a good thing you don't have a kid.
Right? No. I'm punched out of that. I'm definitely not having a kid.
Just like, no, it's not.
No
not
thanks.
Cards. Just no.
I think I'm honestly just a hair too selfish with my life and time.
Yeah.
And consider that a negative or what have you, it's fine by me.
You should just tell people like it's an environmental thing. I don't think there's too many of us. I'm a good guy.
I always respond with, why would anyone want to do that? Have you heard how much noise they make?
Yeah.
Because currently, I have a life that I get to wake up and do whatever I fucking want to every day.
Yeah, but you're a cool individual. Wouldn't you want to, like there's a lot of shitheads. Wouldn't it be nice to, like, raise another cool person in the world?
We're always going to be outnumbered.
Maybe. I don't know. You could...
Also, it allows a bit of freedom, right? Like, and back to being selfish, but I don't particularly like the direction things have gone. And I don't feel good about setting someone into that system that I don't like.
Yeah, that's what I think about, too, is, like, if I were to have a kid, and if this is what I'm still doing, what I'm doing now, it'd be like, I would never recommend, like, going this route. It's not...
No.
But I don't know why. It's great. Like...
Yeah, I mean, you live a pretty sweet gig that would be really good for it, right? Because your whole channel is based here, like around your house and the yard, and
work from home. Literally, like whatever I'm doing, it's always from here.
Yeah, you're probably so. I mean, I travel a lot, but if I'm home, I'm home.
Right.
Like I rarely leave my house if I'm in town.
But you're also able to get some stuff done. Work-wise,
I can do 100% of my job on the road.
Yeah.
Whereas you can't do any.
That's true. That's a fun realization.
You're not building any yard trails at your house.
So there is on occasion I've gone, but I have to get to a destination to start the job or start I mean, I guess I could do.
Well, I think you could tell whatever story you want to tell. Whether the audience wants to follow along is up to them.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm real hard on myself. Like, you're only doing this. You're just gonna build, man. There's too many. That's why I didn't ever make like a MTB like vlog thing. It's like there's so many. There's a ton. Like
it's work.
It's work, and it's like, well, nobody was doing this thing. I'll just do that, and then just fucking go.
And dude, and it's been rad. Look, I think my overgeneralization, which is the just variety of things that I'm interested in and want to try and see and do and travel, because my channel is not a lifting vlog, not a travel vlog per se, but it's also not just a lifting channel, but there is informational content. Like I make whatever I feel like making. I've also made bike content because that's what I feel like talking about. And if you want a channel to really blow up, it's got to have a direction. Right. And with that said, now, if I had an Instagram page or a YouTube channel that's called Cute Funny Cats, that has, a couple million followers, and I start posting things about how I think about the upcoming election. No one signed up for that.
Okay, man.
We showed up for Cute Funny Cats, man.
Maybe talk about what cat's better or worse, but let's not talk about Trump.
Dude, I had a lot of fear with that when my knee went bad. Like most of my channel was kind of travel vlogs about me traveling and competing in the Highland Games. And so I was, part of it was my training leading up to a competition, and then I would go compete and be able to talk about both sides of it. Well, then the knee went bad, and so there was a lot of fear of like, oh shit. So like, what do I do now? Because I can't throw.
Did you think like, oh, they're just all gonna like not give it
100%.
two shits?
They're gone. Oh, everything I've built is now going to go away.
Did you see anything of that? No,
none. My audience hung on, and I hope that's because I've showed a lot of interest, and then I showed more personality than what I was doing.
Yeah, that seems to be what everybody says. Like they're there for you, not for exactly. They're there for what you're doing too.
Yeah, of course, right. And if at some point I've got to make peace with, if they don't like it, that's okay.
Yeah, people are gonna leave. That's fine.
I've been not liked before. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a weird one to get grips on for me, because I was always not a people pleaser, but like always felt very disgruntled. Like if somebody had a problem with me, so it's like, what's there not to like?
No, dude, it's tough, right? It's tough having to put yourself out there and get that level of critique.
To get hated, to be hated, which is like such a weird. It's like, man, you don't even just let me explain my story to you. You'll understand.
That's the problem. At some point, you get used to it enough to realize that you're just I'm sorry that you're unhappy. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like, oh man, poor
happy people with their shit together don't say those things to another person.
Right. Yeah. I mean, why would you even think
course.
like I don't know. It still gets you though. I don't know why.
For sure.
It
Definitely raises more of a flag in your mind than a positive comment.
Oh, well, yeah, that's for sure. The fun thing is like, I read the comments, but I don't read them as much as I used to because for that reason alone.
Then it's time consuming.
But time consuming, yeah, responding, all of that. It's still fun. I like to try to respond to them. But the funny thing is I purposefully try to avoid the negative comments. But my parents love reading the comments on my videos. I've already got like the dad that's kind of like the never good enough kind of dad.
Oh, perfect.
So he loves like, so they're saying this. It's like, dude, I'm not reading those for a point. Like now you're gonna regurgitate the negative comments to me. It's like the archetypical like disapproving father. It's like, come on, man.
That our parents' generation does not grasp social media very well.
It's like, Dad,
the tone of it, in fact.
There's 200,000 people that just watched that video. Like, there's going to be dickheads that are just
Dude,
dickheads.
so that's... Look, I remind myself of this, and there's two ways I look at it. One is, I think the average person is not terribly smart. By choice. A lot of it by choice, not just
like
simply
willfully
IQ.
ignorant.
Yes, has chose to be uninformed or completely biased information, have done complete confirmation bias and only want information that backs up the things they already think about. They're not challenging ideas. They're not questioning. They're not doing that.
You think they're choosing to be that way? Or do you think that the way social media and systems work, it just leans toward that? It kind of causes you to be that way?
Well, I think it does turn into an echo chamber, right? Mm-hmm. But you know, what's the other side of that I don't understand what people want? Like, would you want them to build in a thing that shows you content you don't like? Like, of course, the algorithm makes more sense to show you things that are in your echo chamber and stuff you like.
Business standpoint wise, yes, of course. That makes sense. Like, they're a company. YouTube, Instagram, they're all companies. They all want to grow. But I think the big thing is, like, there needs to be regulations or something. You can't just do it till... I mean, there's nothing there, right? Like, it's just a nonstop, like, nobody's watching. Like, let's just keep freaking just drilling them. We can learn everything about them and just give them exactly what they want. It's like... So,
you know, recently looking into that, you know, the data mining that they do with us, and then providing us content targeted to us. Mm-hmm. I don't want tampon commercials on the videos I'm watching, right? Because I'm not female.
Ad-wise, right.
Right? So, of course I want ads.
Makes sense.
That are targeted to the things I like. And then also, why wouldn't you try to show me content that I like instead of content I disagree with? I believe this falls on the individual. And I think it's crazy to me that we don't want them to have our personal information as much. Mm-hmm. We're not comfortable with them knowing everything that they know about us that we've shared with them.
Mm-hmm.
And clicked a box that said, please look at this information to better figure out how to provide service to me.
Right.
We also want to put it on them to have the responsibility to show me the other side of the argument on stuff to be balanced.
So that's just not the case. Like, that's not going to happen.
That's not their job.
Yeah, right. Their job is to make more money.
We have to decide to watch things to educate both sides.
But I think the whole thing with like that thing where we clicked yes on it's like they have all the incentive in the world to continue going down that path of like more.
Of course.
How can we know this person to a T where we can predict every single thing about them? And I think that's where like, I don't know if it's regulation or like, they're making so much off of that. Like,
well, it's valuable.
Tax that.
Well, how would you tax it?
I don't know. I don't know how much. Well, I mean,
those businesses get taxed on their revenue and income, right? So,
yeah, I don't know. It's just something needs to be there to kind of calm down the incentive for them to just keep going down that path.
You could also not watch.
And I don't.
Right.
Which is where I start to feel bad doing what I'm doing is like, oh no, I'm feeding the machine that's just causing these people. So the scary thing is like just having your phone buzz or like always wanting to just like check it or just find yourself mindlessly scrolling.
Right.
Like nonstop. I don't remember anything that I'm looking at.
No.
It's not, none of it's going into my head as far as I know anyway, on a conscious level, but you watch one video and all of a sudden you watched 10.
Oh yeah. The
like,
system's amazing. It's a slot machine.
That's because of that. That's because of that thing that is like, oh, well, we know you to a T. We know exactly what's going to keep you scrolling. And that's where it starts to get scary is because it's like everybody's stuck on this thing.
Well, there was a point with scrolling Instagram that it used to have a bottom.
Oh, yeah, right.
They got rid of it.
Exactly.
Which is a great business move. It's very impressive.
It's great. It's great for them. Glad they're making loads of money, but people, I mean, we're all just stuck. We're stuck.
And
accidentally.
And I'm with you. I'm with you on all of this other than what I want is the responsibility placed on us.
Sure. There
Completely.
is definitely mostly us, but also I don't know. It's like, I guess there's regulations in gambling, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's super addictive.
I don't know that there's regulations to make it less addictive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's places that offer help, and I know that there's some money that has to go toward gambling addiction from casinos.
I guess.
Same way beer companies have to also.
It needs to be at least acknowledged. I guess it's acknowledged to some extent that there's like an addiction to staring at your phone.
Of course there's acknowledgement.
It's acknowledged, but it's like we're all still okay doing it.
It doesn't seem that it's so that's back where I think it's very strange, right? That it's easy for us to feel like, look, this Zuckerberg, there's some dark stuff going here with the information collected. There's, they own Instagram and all these type of things. And so like I said, it's really easy to get caught in that they're bad or evil.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to polarize
malicious
anything.
intent, right?
Yes, yeah.
But I already don't trust those entities very much. I use their programs, but I don't trust them. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely not interested in giving them more responsibility to make changes in my life. Why would I want? Right. I don't want the government to have to regulate it. I want me to decide. Yeah, I won't do this. And I think that not taking responsibility in our country is a tough one because I think that's a shift that normal people have passed up on. So with responsibility, like I look at it this way, and here's somewhere that I've landed that's been very, very helpful for me in almost every instance is I'm a person that takes 100% responsibility. And so the way that works is if I was going to borrow your bike today and go ride it and I broke something, I'm going to pay and fix it as quickly as I possibly can. Right. Right. So that I'm no longer an inconvenience for a thing you lent to me.
Make it as if nothing happened.
If I was going to lend you my bike and you went and rode it and something broke, I'll pay to fix it because I take responsibility for saying you're allowed to go ride it.
Oh, so you go to that extent of
both
like,
I'm in control of both.
You take
I'm never a victim.
Really?
You didn't borrow it without asking. So I have to take some ownership in that decision. I mean, now, look, if we sat down beforehand and said, look, I can't afford to fix it if you break it, so I need you to fix it quick. And there was that understanding, which I feel is always unspoken. Right. Because you're decent people.
Would you, in that scenario, if I was like, no, let me pay for it.
Of course.
You would.
Of course.
That's
fine.
But
I'm going into it with the expectancy that if something ever happens, this was a risk I chose to take, that I won't let that influence or queer our relationship.
Right. You don't want it to be some like weird thing in the back of our heads like, well, he never really paid me for that. Like,
it's my bike. Things break.
Yeah, but on the grand scale of like people's mentality.
It may be down the road whether or not I think you're someone I want to lend a thing to.
Okay. But I guess, and that's where we're getting at with social media. We're going, well, maybe I shouldn't have given them all my shit.
Right.
And that's where I'm at. Like, generally, I just started this. I'm not going to lie and be like, the way I am is this, but over the past few days, I've been turning my phone on to like the ultra power save mode, which just gives you like messaging in your phone. And you can add whatever else if you need it, but I don't. And it's been so good. Like, it's been like a whole new experience. I'll go out, build, don't look at anything all day long. And it's like, man, I was spending so much time. Right. And that's the best thing about this thing over here, this camera. When I go back and edit my videos, I'm seeing how much I'm unconsciously just picking it up and looking at it.
Right. It's rough, right? It's scary. Like I've done the same with like me training in the gym. Yeah.
And you don't recognize it. You're not sure in that moment. You're not really paying attention. You're active. You're doing it.
We don't do bored well anymore.
Exactly.
Bored equals phone.
It's just constant. Yeah. That's the pacifier, essentially.
Like, when's the last time I sat home and watched a movie without a second screen close?
Oh, see, I'm different with that. I'm very into movies where I'm like, if anybody's on their phone, I'm like, what are you're missing it.
Yeah, I don't keep it by the bed anymore when I sleep. It stays downstairs unless
see, I need to do that.
Unless I need the alarm clock.
I was gonna say that's the only reason I have it. With our job, you don't need it as much as you used to.
I don't really ever need it. I wake up at 6 by myself anyway.
You're a morning guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm normally around 6:30 too.
Yeah, I'd rather up and down with the sun has been pretty good for me.
That's the best, man. That's one of the biggest perks of this is like, that was always my thing. So I own a dump trucking company too. And like with that, you got to wake up at like 4:30 almost every day.
That time I don't like. And then, I like mornings, but 4 is not cool.
You're just like, this isn't net. There's no way. I did it for 5 years.
And never got natural.
Never. And I mean, it was just always terrible. You woke up in the worst mood always. And I'd like get like a big old Bubba cup full of coffee just to like get me moving. And it's like,
I think about how many people that's their every day.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
and that's the whole existence. And fuck, it's draining.
But it's got to be there. Those guys got to be doing it.
Of course.
And that's where, it's kind of scary because it feels like everybody's going into this. I don't know if that's true.
I think everyone wants to. Now, the weird stuff is I didn't grow up with any idea that this was a job. Like, this didn't exist, right? YouTube's been only, like, I had a full another 10 years of a career in a different industry.
Me neither.
Right.
I'm old enough to where a cell phone, like, you had the flip phone in high school.
Like, there's definitely kids in school right now that, like, that whole, like, when we were kids, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? There's people who want to be an influencer or a YouTube star. Like, they are writing that down.
That's a new kind of rock star thing. Like, which I was a big music guy. It's like, that was my whole thing.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to do music. That's going to be where it's at.
It's a fun hobby, man. I tour managed for a buddy's band for a couple years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've had a bunch of weird jobs.
No shit.
Yeah.
So what is that like being tour manager? So you're like
tour
a bookie
manager,
or like you're keeping them on track for?
Yes, more keeping on track.
A little bit of a babysitter.
Bit of a babysitter, but also like you kind of end up working as a grip too. Like, so loading in, loading out, and then making sure I made sure we got paid what we were supposed to get paid at the end of every night.
Nice.
I also sold merch, did stuff like that, and then helped with some merch and stuff with the band. I drove a lot.
Okay.
On tour, I preferred to do that.
Like by yourself, or like drove the
van.
Okay.
So we were like in a 15-passenger.
Oh, so it's like a legitimate.
Oh yeah, like we did a.
Who's the band?
Merriweather is the name of the band.
What
they are
genre?
It's rock.
Rock. Okay.
They're on Spotify. It was fun. It was a cool window, man. In post college to get to do that with buddies.
Is that what you did right out of college?
So I did the bike shop and then did tour managing part-time while the bike shop was going on. And like also when the bike shop started failing, I went back to like bouncing and DJing at a strip club. Oh dude,
what a flip, man.
Paid more money. It was the most money I could make for the least amount of work.
Yep. Bartending, anything along those like.
Yeah, I went back to bartending and bouncing at the strip club because it paid enough for me to justify having an employee at the bike shop.
Oh no! So you were doing that and having the bike shop?
Yeah, I was essentially. Don't get a second job to pay for your first one. This is a terrible business plan.
It's not work. The business isn't working.
No.
Unless it's like, if you just started up, maybe it might be like, okay, let me get this to get it like.
But you should figure out how to lower your living further down.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was doing the dump truck. I mean, this is my first year doing this full time. So I was in a dump truck. I'd get home, and then I'd go build, and then I'd put out a video and
So
just slowly
run this back for people who don't, my audience that doesn't follow you.
Yeah.
Backyard Trail Bigs is your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Backyard Trail Builds, build a bunch of, there's mountain biking trails in the backyard. It started off with just wanting to progress because we're in Missouri.
Yeah.
Where there's no jumps, there's no drops, there's no...
It's very weird that none of the trails have any features, but we have elevation.
It's because they're on state park, so it's a liability.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
We're getting there. We just got that new park in Eureka.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's got it all. It's a progressive bike park.
Yep.
It's got everything kind of like this.
It's a skill park, right.
But before that, everything had to be on state park property, and they didn't want the liability, and they didn't know.
Everything's got to be rollable.
Yeah, exactly. So
Allegedly.
I mean, like the stuff we did today, it's like, no, that's pretty gnarly, but it's like, yeah, if you allow those rocks and whatnot, like, put a freaking roller in there or something.
Put a bypass.
Exactly. But anyway, that's what we have. We have really good XC around here.
Yeah, the cross-country riding is great.
Nothing to get better at anything else. So whenever I'd travel somewhere, it'd be like, look at all these cool things that I can't ride. Like, this sucks. I have all the endurance. I'm ready to do it, but I'm not going to do that thing because it's huge.
Terrifying,
yes,
right.
Exactly. So that's what started the channel anyway, or started me.
It's basically
building
like
trails.
your Whistler training ground.
Yeah, sure. Well,
at some point,
Whistler's a freaking big one, but
it'd be a lot of fun to see the progression that you'd make to this. To be able to go run a line.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then team up with some of the other guys like you and Seth, or any of the BCPOV of the other guys that ride.
Just like you went to Bentonville recently, didn't you? Like that place. Like,
dude, it's incredible.
Having this and then going down there now is a totally different thing. I went down there probably 2 years ago and I was like, fuck, this is so cool. Like, so cool. I can't. Everything was terrifying though.
Yeah, I felt that way very much. I took a pretty good crash, like on All American in a place that I shouldn't. Like I had gapped into
and All American's
a turn,
a pretty chill like flow line. Like,
and front tire did not have enough air pressure and it wiped out. I was on that bike. No, it was just smooth berms and I caught it and it just peeled the tire up.
And there's no berms around here. Like, why would you know how to navigate a berm?
I hit the ground very hard on my stomach. Just
nice belly flop onto dirt.
I was like, that felt bad.
Yeah, wrecking never feels too great. I haven't wrecked in forever though.
Good.
Yeah, it's not one that I did. So I built like totally out of my element. Went to Bentonville, came back, was like, I need a big, huge drop. That's what I need. Built one. It was like an immediate, like almost right turn, and then a drop.
Right. At least it's sketchy.
6 foot tall. Yeah. I'd never hit a drop before, really. I get drunk as all hell with my buddy who's never ridden a bike before. He's just, come on, just do it, man. Just do it. Just full on scorpion.
Oh, no.
I mean, I still have pain from it in my upper spine, man. So that's why I'm like mega, like, cautious with everything that I build. Everything has safety nets because I don't want that again. I don't want to get paralyzed and not be able to do this anymore. Like,
no, man.
It's like, I don't know why anybody has a mentality of like,
pain's super lame, dude.
Yeah. It's like, why? I don't know why there's such a huge stigma of like, you just got to send it, dude. You just stop being a pussy. It's like,
I don't think anyone who's worth a damn really started that way. Like, I mean, the young kids I know that got really into BMX and have progressed that way, like Brock Rayford, like that kid's a monster and he's ridden BMX and since he was an infant, and now he rides for Vans and has a custom frame and like is a killer out there. Like does video game stuff. It's wild.
Yeah,
but like it was all progression.
Right.
And like you can take those hits at that age a bit better.
Yes, exactly. That's
I hit
the whole thing
hard.
too.
I'm heavy.
And you're I imagine you can't take that.
I don't bend well.
You can't like if you trip just on the ground, something might break.
Dude,
like,
I tell you, it's been actually really nice over the last probably 6 or 8 months to be riding a bit more aggressively and actually crash and not be hurt from it. Like I'm crashed and I'm sore and I'm beat up, but I feel the way a mountain bike crash feels.
Right.
Not like my body got torn in half from a previous injury.
Do you mean because you're developing skill on how to crash properly, or you mean like your body's working?
My body can actually take the crash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So in what way, how does that change? Did it shut off? Oh.
Yeah, probably need to hit
1 second.
record again. No worries.
That stupid thing.
Yeah, they only go for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I don't... Good eye. Did that just happen?
Yep. Yeah, the chronic pain stuff I dealt with for a long time was really bad, and not being able to go up and down stairs, right? So like if you put me in a weird position with my leg, like I'm really scared of the amount of pain it's going to be. And so the idea that I would fall and flail and like centrifugal force whip my body into a position, I was very, very fearful that I would be broken.
Okay, so you were just probably stiff too.
Terrified. Like, terrified of pain.
Yeah.
And so now that that's kind of sorted out, it's felt good being able to trust the body to be a bit more resilient again.
Yeah,
like, we can take a hit.
Yes, yeah.
I don't feel fragile anymore, and I did for a stretch, and that's super lame.
And yeah, once you've had a few crashes too, you're like, okay, crashing's bad, but it's not like you don't need to be thinking about it nonstop.
No.
You should just ride and try to enjoy it. If you crash, you crash. Like
it comes with it.
Right.
Like that's failure,
biking.
right? Like failure's part of it.
It comes with it, but also like that's my whole thing is like you don't need to make things intentionally.
You can fail
bad.
smart.
Yes. Like a tabletop. Like
you can roll it if you need to.
I'm going to jump the exact same way. If that had a big gap in it, it's going to all look the same except there's a piece of dirt in the middle. Like why put the
doubles are easier to build.
Yes.
Because there's less material.
And it's like I get it because I've put gaps. Like there's something adrenaline wise you're like, hell yeah, I just fucking
yeah, no, the jumping over a space of nothing is totally
clearly
different feeling.
I'm not against that, but I tend to like I'll put a platform or something in between it till I feel comfortable, and then I'll take it out.
I really like that with your channel. I remember watching one of the drops that you built and building that progression of there was a downslope that you could clear it.
Yes.
But there wasn't going to be this terrible fine essentially for not clearing that gap.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to case it hard and then die.
No. You're not going to I don't even think you'd break anything. I mean, you're just going to get real bruised up or something.
Sure.
Which, I mean, eventually, with the trend of everything, it just gets bigger and bigger, where it might eventually get to that. But I will only get there when I'm so comfortable on the bike that it's not going to be a thing. It won't be like this step up I'm building. Like, I'm going to put something there, like in between the step up.
Right.
I'll put it on camera. Like, I want people to see, like, look, you don't need to act like a hero.
Yeah, I think it's great that we're showcasing more of that, and like I think that's the cool thing about the creativity of the YouTube space, right? Is that like you can tell that full story. It doesn't have to be this fake TV thing that we were sold for so long with the movie magic.
Like I'm gonna do it off camera and then be like, no, I'm just good at doing the step up.
Right, and like, the first try it looked great. Like,
and then you're tricking people. You're tricking people and creating a mindset of like, you just got to send it, dude. And it's like, why? Why create a false thing where somebody's going to get hurt and there's going to be kids that are like, well, he did it. He was terrified. Like, I often am like, I'm scared of doing everything. Like,
well, I think a lot of that comes with what do you want to accomplish with the channel and information you put out? Do you want to stoke people on biking and have them try more things and show how they can progress skills in their yard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or do you want people to think you're a superhero?
Right. That I'm this badass rider and blah, blah, blah.
And if that's not the ego check you want, don't build that
Even
way.
if it was something I wanted, I couldn't pull it off because I'm not that.
Well, not yet.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, the stuff that you're riding now, like I've ridden a long time and I'm not comfortable, to ride most of the features
like that
in your
stuff. I mean, yeah. I think the main thing I'm stoked about is just like creating super, super flowy, doable lines that, I just want to be able to feel comfortable doing whatever. I'd like to go anywhere and be like, oh, I'll hit that. Like, that's fine. Right. I'm not out to like win. Like, I'll never learn a bar spin. I don't feel any inclination to, like, I gotta nail this. Admittedly, I tried learning one for like 3 hours and like just totally fucked up my hands because you're just trying to catch it, and it's just like, what am I doing? I'm gonna ruin my joints.
Am I never gonna do this?
Like, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do this so I can be like, look.
I like what you said though. That it's, I mean, essentially you're building this training center so that whenever you do travel and get to go out to these other trails, you've got this confidence already of like, I get to really go rip these trails because I've got the skill set.
I'm so comfortable that none of this is scary. And that's where I'd like to get to. I'm not there yet by any means, but
dude, I feel the same way about just overall my health and fitness. Like, I don't enjoy running, but I've started running recently because I know the benefits.
Right.
And so a lot of my friends have also gotten into bigger trail runs and hikes and stuff like that. And I don't want to say no.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I don't want to have to say no to a cool thing that all my friends are going to go do.
Yeah, we're going up this mountain, man. You want to go?
No way. Hell yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the one at the back of the pack like, can we hold on?
There's a bunch of really rad things I'm interested in doing in this point in my life that have an entry fee of fitness.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
And I want to be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm on board with you there. That's what I need to start running again too, or I just need to get, like I said, that's how I invited you
more
today.
Cross country miles, man.
I just need to put them in. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah, when I get back, I'll hit you up. We should go hit Lost Valley one day.
Yeah, dude, I'm game. I'm trying to. That's what I was doing a video each week, which was just killing me.
It's a monster that's never fed, dude.
It was killing me. I literally had no time for nothing. I had no time.
Doing a video a week's tough if you're not doing major construction during it.
Every time. That's what I was
like. You know how much faster this goes if I don't have to move the fucking camera?
Oh my God, dude.
To make this look interesting?
That's why I built for 2 years before. Like, I try to do it every once in a while, and I was like, fuck this. It takes so much longer.
Oh, yeah.
Especially this stuff, like, and I'm kind of an artsy guy where I want to get fun, cool, like, different shots. It's like, those ones don't just come out of nowhere. You got to sit there and think about it and like, go walk off into the woods, go get seed ticks every damn time I'm out there. It's like, yeah, it's a tough thing to do once a week for sure.
Yeah, every 2 weeks is pretty sustainable.
Dude, it's so good. I'm enjoying things. Like, yesterday, like, was my first time where I was like, oh, well, man, here, let me try to get this shot. Like, let's do this. Like, just experimenting, knowing I have the time. And then also, I really like to edit when I have the time for it. So, like, knowing that I have 3 or 4 days to edit an entire video is going to be like, oh, yes, I get to include everything that I want to include. Instead of, like, this last video I did it all in one day, was like a probably 16 or 18 hour stretch of editing. It's like, there's tons of mistakes in it. Like, people were pointing them out. It's like, I just
don't care.
I stayed up all night and I woke up at 3:30 in the morning to finish it. It's like,
it's rough.
Yeah.
It's, also, woe is me. It's not a tough job. You're not roofing houses, but it's draining.
Promise you, there was no other job that was as stressful as doing one a week. I've never felt that much.
Yeah, I solo recorded and did dailies for 2 years. And I mean, they were 10 minutes of just my daily bullshit. And like, I got to the point that if I needed a 10-minute vlog, I probably shot 25 minutes of footage.
Yeah.
Like, it was very, very directed, and that edit was just beep, 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 beep.
There it is.
And big surprise, nothing really ever took off.
Yep, you got to put the time in.
It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I built some audience, but it wasn't going to go where I really wanted it to. And so now getting to do it with having an editor and kind of reinvest in the team's been really cool.
That's got to be the coolest.
It is. It is a weird thing paying someone to film parts of your life.
That's a tough thing. Is like. And then, are you directing him in any way, or are you just kind of let him?
Like, we'll typically have like a kind of a production meeting if I had to give it more of an official thing. But when in fact it's like, oh, we're in the truck and we have coffee. I'm like, hey, today let's try to accomplish this.
Let's do this. Gotcha.
Here's a loose outline of today's story, or what the next 3 days put together can put together a good story.
Right. So.
And he's good at it too, and at least Brant cares about like the storytelling side of it and is trying to get those aspects.
Yeah. So, and it sounds like he was your friend before.
No.
Oh, really? So how'd you find him?
So my girlfriend put out a job application or looking to hire someone to do some programming input, like and build her a website
Right.
to sell programming on. And so he responded, man, with like a mock build of the front page of her website, and looked really rad. And he was the only person to respond with like an actual show.
Oh, like, check this. Like, yeah.
So
that's awesome.
we met with him, and he started working for her, and it was great. And so I wanted to talk to someone about video work. So we test ran a video, and then I paid him freelance for a little while. And then in January, he came on board as full-time employee for my company. Quit his real job.
In January of this year?
Yep.
Oh, wow. So this is like a brand
Super new to me.
No shit. How long have you even been in, like, doing this?
So I lost my real job in March of 17.
Okay.
It was the last time I had a
Real-
civilian job. Outside sales.
Okay. Okay.
Outside
right.
sales, oil and gas industry. I quit doing the bike shop in like 2008.
Oh, wow.
So I opened the bike. I had it from 2005, 2008.
Damn.
And then did a real career basically from 2008 to 2017. And then was competing through that whole window.
So, but no, like, social media. Like, it
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
even really
enough.
a thing
Well, so
too
like
much then.
I mean, my YouTube channel's got like 12 or 1,300 videos on it, and so it started then because I would just film.
You were doing it early.
I would film training footage.
You should have been stoking that fire, man.
Well, but I wasn't. I had a real job, right? And
Yep.
so like
Yep.
I filmed training footage of me throwing to share with the other guys I competed with, so that we could get better.
Right. So it wasn't really like a, here, guys, watch this.
This wasn't a job.
It was a tool.
Yeah, it was just a
for you.
tool to show training footage, and then people started watching. And so then I started showing more training footage, or could I put together like an artsy BMX edit of a workout?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, tried the best I could for a bunch of years, and then it just got spread too thin to really keep up well with it. I had a series I did for 5 years on my YouTube channel called the Drift-A-Lifta. So it's just kind of travel and meeting these people and kind of having interviews that I believe that's become more of the podcast is really what that's turned into. But yeah, I mean, did that. I mean, we filmed, where all did we go? We did one in the Carolinas. We filmed with a handful of different companies up the East Coast that I worked with, like Sorinex makes exercise equipment and a bunch of other stuff, kind of showing tours of their places and the people that run those businesses. Did a West Coast one in California around like a world championship competition where I interviewed some people.
And this was all for YouTube?
Yeah.
And did those do like super well? Or
No.
Just, no. So this is
Didn't
still
do
just
great.
a side thing that
Yeah,
you're
it
like,
was,
maybe
and
it'll get
I'm
going?
paying for it.
And what year was this that you were doing all these series?
So I think the last one we filmed would have been like 2018.
Oh, okay.
So 2015 to 2018, maybe.
So you were just like, just throwing darts at the board and
Yeah,
hoping
and like
something would
was
stick.
trying to film a show like that, and whether it wasn't good enough or didn't catch or what have you, but the audience that it did catch have stayed with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so,
well, it seems like you've stuck with the same style of things.
I haven't quit making videos.
Right.
That's really the only way I see as a failure
And
is
that's literally-
deciding you don't want to do it anymore.
And that's all you have to do, really.
I mean,
Like,
even in that time, I still haven't had a 2-week stretch that nothing came out.
really.
I've put something up.
I've had like months or
Yeah.
a month at least where it's just like,
I can't bring myself to let it lapse that long because they're still my audience. And
Well-
like, what a waste of a resource.
yeah, what the thing with me is like quality over quantity, man. Like,
Of course.
if I don't feel like I'm going to be able to put out a really, really dynamite video that I'm happy with, then I'm just not going to do it. Like,
Right.
And that's what I get hit up all the time. Like, hey, you could do a thing at this and do. It's like, no, because I don't know if I can make a great video out of that. Like, I'm just not. It's either yes or no. Like,
And now, I mean, with as weird as this year has been, with coronavirus and shutdown and being stuck at home, and that's really where I saw your stuff launch so hard up.
well, yeah, I think it's because most people. Well, that's when I got my first million view video, which was like the indoor roller, bicycle roller, or whatever, with logs and
Which is the thing you use how often?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Perfect.
Literally never. It's actually the same thing. Like after that one, I built the like bicycle lathe.
Yeah.
Which I took it apart. Like,
Yeah,
it's
of course.
It's just there.
It's not a thing.
It was the coolest thing to me, but it wasn't. I would use it if it worked super well. But it was more like, can I make this? Like, let me see if I can even make this thing. And yeah, I mean, that's what YouTube is anyway. Is like,
Why
to
not?
some extent, like just making.
Dude, one of my
whatnot.
favorite channels is Tested.
Tested.
So it's Adam Savage from Mythbusters.
Yeah.
So it's his channel.
Oh, okay.
And like there's a bunch of hosts on it, but he is for sure the face.
Yeah.
And he's got a series on there called One Day Builds.
One Day Builds, huh?
And look, this guy's been a prop maker.
Oh yeah,
professionally
I'm sure he's making
for decades, right? Like he
Right.
worked on Star Wars. He's made miniatures, can do all these sculpting and do paint and do all this weathering, and so he builds different things. Whether it's like an organizational tool for his shop, or he's doing, I'm building the sword from Hellboy.
Oh, so just whatever pops in his brain, he's like, I'm gonna just try to make this.
Yeah,
thing.
or I built
That's
this
awesome.
thing. I have this. He has a stuffed beaver,
Yeah.
and he's like, I want a carrying case for it. So he built this box
A carrying case for a stuffed beaver?
carrying case and like display case for it. And but like, yeah, man, his skill set at like just building boxes and putting things together and like,
Yeah, just
it's brilliant because like yours, when you show a build, like the storytelling's so rad because it starts as a concept and you show a graphic of it, and then you get to watch all three acts
all.
play out till you watch a story come to completion. It's amazing.
yeah. And I lucked out in that aspect because I wouldn't consider myself a great storyteller. So I lucked out that the format of building something, it's
dead on.
there. It's already there.
Right.
It's just, and then I can try to add in as much as like the struggle of trying to ride it, or just some weird thing that happens in the middle of it. Like on one of them, we found a bowling ball in the middle of somebody's woods and we just chucked it all the way down the trail. Like just something like that. It takes up a minute of the video. And it's like, okay, I can.
I
throw
saw
in
that. That was
accents.
that big drop you guys built.
Yeah, in my buddy Dave's backyard. That thing was massive. I mean, that thing was, I didn't do it.
No.
Yeah, that was one of those ones where it's like,
That's a lot of gravity.
a lot of gravity. And he's a big fella.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too.
Man,
I was like,
he's
okay.
he is the gnarliest rider, man. He's just, I love having him on because it's like,
He'll just go.
he'll just go, and it's cool to see somebody like that just go. He's a veteran. He was an explosives expert. So he's already fucking crazy by nature.
Okay, right.
So like, yeah, he'll just send anything. And it's like, if he's doing it, like, that's got to be cool for other guys to watch who might be heavier set.
Dude.
Who are like, damn, this dude's just doing everything. Like, and yeah, that's just, I like having him on. He's a good person, I think. A good idol, I think people could
Look,
have.
and good skill set as far as building.
Amazing. Yeah. He's got,
Like I'm because I'm interested in a ton of different shit. Like I would love to take part in a build day and
Dude.
come out and help.
you're welcome to. And I mean, maybe I should have had you out here for this step up, dude. I've been carrying logs
Oh
and
man,
shit.
those are things I do okay.
Yeah, literally carrying big old fat.
Right, and like all that. Like I mean, the truth is, like, there's a lot of stuff I'm envious about watching you build. Like I've run a chainsaw a handful of times in my life. I just haven't needed to.
Right. Yeah.
But even the simple woodworking and stuff like that, like I'm bummed that I didn't get taught how to do all that stuff.
Oh,
right?
me neither. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to do it so bad. It's like, and then getting to do it. Oh, I don't take for granted any of this, like right here.
No, this is
all
super rad.
I've got cedar at my disposal anytime I want it. I buy my cedar because I don't want to get rid of my cedar trees because they're just fucking awesome.
Yeah, they're super cool.
And in a pinch, if anything ever goes bad, I got the best wood around.
Yeah, you got trees.
I could build shit. And yeah, it's great getting to develop that skill set for the channel too. It's something that I want to develop is my woodworking, and like this step up thing. I'm gonna try a different wood joining technique just because I want to.
Yeah, see if you
I want
can
to learn it. Yeah, I want to do better. I want to I'd like to try like dove. I don't know if you know anything about
a
like
bit.
stuff. Yeah, there's just all sorts of wood joints that are better for certain structural things, and it's like I'd like to just know that in my head, like what would work best for certain scenarios, and then to be able to do it without power tools or whatever you need, which a lot of it's like, well, I know how to do it without power tools.
Sure, it's just there's a reason we invented power tools.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
we made these things work great.
Yeah, that was originally when I started the channel. I was like, I'm gonna do everything with no gas, no electric.
Oof.
Like, that went away real fast.
Chainsaws are awesome.
Chainsaws are awesome. Just
the battery-powered sawzalls
my
are incredible.
Gosh. Yeah,
the amount of work, like you trimming up that arrow ramp, trimming that with like a handsaw, like that's your day.
Honestly, trimming that thing up wouldn't, because you just got like a little cedar's softwood, but like
okay,
cedar's just so great. I could go on and on about cedar. It's softwood, rot resistant.
You'll be the first guest to get really passionate about cedar on the show.
Dude, it just smells great. And then it's like, you don't need Axe body spray. Like, go work with cedar, man. And like, Dan is like, oh my God, you smell so good.
Nice.
You beautiful man. But
it's your beard oil company.
I can't even grow a beard. I
didn't start growing mine until after I was 30, 31, 32.
Really?
Yeah.
So I got maybe
man. Mine wasn't great looking beforehand. It's been it's still thin and shitty. But from the right angle it looks okay. Huh. Just always face people.
So I wanted to ask you, what with the bike shop, what went wrong? Was it just bad area or
a mixture of bad area as far as just not enough clientele to support that shop. There was also a shop across the street that had been there for 20 years. Baton Rouge is a town of 300,000 people, and there were 6 good bike shops.
Oh, damn.
And 1 trail.
Oh, wow.
There's 1 cross-country trail.
Okay, so...
And there's some road riding. And then we got a BMX park toward the end of my tenure at the bike shop. Opened it with 2 partners, and it just didn't make enough money.
Yeah, so just a bad business move. Like,
me being a 22-year-old me isn't who I would want to go into business with anymore.
Yeah, dude.
He just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No.
And I think tried his best, but also was 22 and a moron.
Yeah.
So
you're real dumb. I feel like maybe 25 you start to get your bearings.
Barely.
Well, I'm 28, so don't say anything about 28.
I think, look, we're aware that the brain isn't done developing until 25. Still, till then, it's pretty mushy.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And so there's definitely a bigger difference in your 30s.
You think so?
This has been a cool decade, man.
Yeah?
Been some shit, but it's been a cool decade.
What'd you think when you hit 30? Were you like, shit, it's all downhill from here?
Oh, man.
Don't give a shit.
I was going forward.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of at any point in my life that I would have rather relived the last year than whatever the chance of the next was going to bring. And so I've never looked backwards much.
Right.
I'm stoked I did those things, but I did them.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, what's next? Yeah. I've been trying to do that lately. I've really, I don't know where it came from, but I got this extreme awareness of like, wow, when a day goes by, I generally don't remember any of it. Like, none of it. Unless something really significant happens, I don't remember it. And everything, like this. This is going to be this weird memory that I kind of have. It'll be like, the memory will just be, hey, I talked to that guy.
Yeah, of course, right?
It's like, I've been really trying to like make things happen that might make it more memorable in my head to just, I don't know, so I have more things to think about. Like it's scary just knowing that it all just goes into the river. Like,
and not only that, it just goes faster.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's because a year is it's a smaller percentage of the whole of your life every year.
I tell you what, social media is kind of helpful in like, at least with what I do, like, and I imagine you too, you're documenting everything that's happening.
Slows things down.
Yeah,
because now your week is important.
And then I can see like, I've got a number to like go off of.
Yeah.
Like when I started this year, I had 20,000 subscribers or whatever.
That's crazy.
And it's like,
that pop.
Whoa, like, okay, we did a lot this year, Seth. Like, you should be happy. Like, this is a great year. And it's still only September. Like, there's still a lot to go. Like, so, yeah, in that aspect, YouTube's, I would say I'd recommend most people do a YouTube or something just to have documentation of what you're doing in life.
Man, that's been one of those weird things that I never thought that I would be that stoked on. But over the years, and especially now that I've got, Brant doing editing stuff for us, that, dude, I've got these really cool videos of my trips. Mm-hmm. Like, there's been a lot of my life that's been documented.
I bet, dude. And then you go back and watch it, and it's like, fuck, that's all cool.
There's also some of it that's real weird.
Oh, yeah?
So there's an Amazon show out recently called The Heavies.
The Heavies.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. It's a documentary about Scottish Highland Games.
Okay. Oh.
So these two English guys, or Scottish fellas, filmed it through the course of 2014, 2015, 2016. And shot for those 3 years, and were around quite a bit throughout our season, especially like when I was in Scotland competing in the summer.
Yeah.
And so it came out like 2 months ago.
But it's of that time period?
Yeah, so like I'm one of the three main people they followed throughout the course of the show.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really weird to watch.
No shit.
It feels super weird to watch.
At the time, were you aware? Were they like, hey,
yeah, I knew that I would be on it a lot.
But it wasn't like,
no,
it's just this distant thing. Like,
yeah, I was like, well, this will get, I mean, and I've filmed a lot of stuff that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, right.
And so
you just thought like, it'll be 4
years later, this pops up. They've sold it to Amazon, and and I watched it. I don't know that I can watch it again. It's weird.
Is it weird because just seeing you and hearing you?
Yeah, so like it goes from World Championships in 2014, 2015, 2016. I think that's right. No, it couldn't be 2014 because I won that year, and we didn't have one where I won.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so it essentially has me lose and take second place at 3 World Championships.
But you got second place in all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, you're like...
It's not as cool as winning.
You're the runner-up. I mean, that's dying for a comeback.
Yeah, I tried 3 times on there. Like they really were hoping the story would play out that way. I just couldn't win. I just got my ass kicked 3 different times.
Getting second.
Oh, man, like, and the days started good. It just slowly bled points. I just didn't get it done. The guy that beat me is incredible. Dan, I mean, he won 5 World Championships. I won 2 in the same time that I have seconds at all of his other wins.
Nice.
So, so he's featured in it. Another buddy, Scott, who's in the UK, and then it was cool to watch, man. But it's kind of like being in the passenger seat of your own car. It's familiar, but it's also not you. And like,
this is kind of weird.
And like, not only that, like hearing the things that I had to say, which.
Oh, like what you deemed important at the time,
and
maybe?
Yeah, and luckily for me, like, I don't think they didn't depict me as a dick.
Right.
So I'm happy with that.
Did they do that with anybody in there?
Not really. I think they showed what I gave.
Is it a good documentary overall? Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's rad. It's good exposure to the sport. It explains the sport well, and then shows the story of us doing it. And it was like, you figure 2016 ended. And like, that's my last time I ever competed was on this documentary. And so like after that was the beginning of 9 knee surgeries.
Oh, wow.
Like, he doesn't know that's coming.
Yeah.
Like, he has
weird.
no
you
idea
get to see
what's
this
coming,
naive
right?
guy like, I'll be back next year. Maybe something.
9 knee surgeries. It was a bunch of chronic pain. It was a bunch of sorting me out. It was, I got a divorce and have moved.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, all of that was due to that trauma.
Yeah.
And, it was just too much, man.
Wow.
And so it's really weird watching it.
That's very intense. So do you have like, where you're talking about, you got a divorce, were you talking about your wife in it at all, or like?
No, there's parts where she's in it.
Oh wow.
Right?
Weird.
And luckily for me, we're close.
Yeah, you're not in
We're still friends. she still works for my business, and,
Oh, wow.
and like, so we've maintained a good relationship. It was
Okay,
just,
so that's not a
we didn't need
weird-
to be married anymore.
Right.
We just wanted to go different routes. I wanted to lean really hard into whatever this strange life is I currently have, and she wanted to do other things.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's either we can resent each other or call this what it is and move on.
So you pretty much like seeing that is like seeing this like, oh, wow, I'm about to do a lot of shit after all of this. Like, and I have no idea. And
it's going to get really weird for a long time, but it's going to get cool.
Yeah, I'd say you made the right move.
I feel like it, as far as, and look, I don't know how long this lasts, right?
Yeah, that is
but I'll get a job.
Scary thing. Yeah.
I've had jobs before. I'm not anti-work.
I don't want a job though.
No. And but here's the thing. Like I think there's less and less of a chance that you'll ever have to go back, because eyes are always going to be valuable.
Yeah.
And if you have figured out a way to get them.
Oh, you think like I could do this again? I could, whatever platform takes over or something. I could
of course.
Yeah.
To an extent. You roll to the next. Your audience will follow. Mm-hmm. They won't just
somewhat. There is some weird like lapse of like getting YouTube to Instagram. It's like,
but you don't produce content for Instagram.
True.
You produce content for YouTube, and then you overflow
right
to Instagram.
Yeah, that's very much what it is too.
And so, yeah, of course, it's a different audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's scary being on like the old one. Like YouTube feels like just a big old behemoth. Like could topple over. I don't know.
It can't.
Unless they put in regulations where like they give other platforms. I don't know how they'd even do that. Hopefully they don't.
I mean, the thing is, it's not really a monopoly, right? Because you can start a Vimeo.
Yeah. But who watches Vimeo?
No one does.
Come on.
Of course not. Of course not. YouTube is such a strong brand that you use that as the term for watching any video on the internet.
It's Google. Like Google it.
It's Google.
Go. Watch this on YouTube. Yeah.
Interesting, right? That when something becomes the industry standard of like a way to describe it. Oh, no, all good.
Stop.
Yeah, so like if something becomes the industry standard, like Nintendo did for years, it became
that
you had a Nintendo.
Yeah, Sega
and then Sega was a Nintendo,
gone.
Right?
But that's
same thing with Coke.
But okay, that's a good. Well, not Coke, but Coke. Got it. Nintendo isn't. Well, I'm not super big into the gaming industry, but it feels like PS4 and Xbox are like the head guys.
Of course.
But I guess that's over a 30, 40 year span.
Right. Well, 30 years. Yeah. But what you could still say is that like there was a period of time that the term Nintendo was synonymous with gaming system.
Yep. Yeah.
Nintendo set out to change that.
To get away from that?
To make sure that they started coining the term gaming system.
Oh.
So that the other companies quit using Nintendo. Because if it becomes public owned, that like this is the term people use to describe it, you can't trademark it anymore.
Really? Wow.
So they didn't want Sega or anyone else to come on the market and be able to say they made a Nintendo.
Yeah, that would
right? Like it's a weird thing.
Huh.
But YouTube is that.
Yeah.
Like so's at this point, the most frustrating questions ever are like if you show a thing and people are like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" Or you meet someone in person and like, "Where'd you get that?" The answer is always the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just Google it, you dick. I didn't find it at some local hardware store hidden in the back.
Yeah.
Like, Amazon exists.
Yeah.
Everything's on there.
Everything.
And the weird spot about that monster, man, is they'll just start making it themselves. If it's a thing that sells well, the Amazon Essentials, they manufacture.
Do that. Yeah, they get a lot of options like that.
They're as close to we currently have of something that could be a dangerous monopoly.
Amazon, right? Yeah, and there's a lot going on there that I can't even wrap my head around it. It's just too big.
I can't even fathom. Like, dude, I run a warehouse that ships only shirts.
Right.
And there's a lot of moving pieces in that. I can't even grasp how many people and making all that work for something to get to my house is incredible.
Yeah, and you probably get it like that day.
Dude,
Like,
it's incredible that it works as well as it does, that we take it for granted.
oh my gosh. Yeah, if you got to wait an extra day or something you're like, what the fuck's going on here? This
Dude,
is
when I started shipping stuff, it wasn't a big deal to be like, well, we ship on Thursdays.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
And that if you ordered on a Friday, your stuff doesn't ship till the following Thursday. And people were fine with that. You can't do that anymore.
Because, yeah. And that
everything's got to be 2 days.
It's Amazon. Yep. 2 day. That's exactly it. And everybody had to adjust to that too.
It's crazy.
Best Buy, Home,
everyone,
everything. It's like, how the fuck? They all had to get their heads around it. Like, how are we going to do that?
The internet has crushed the big box business.
Well, dude, that's what I even noticed recently. I guess because of COVID. It seems like since COVID, I have 3 different UPS drivers that show up here now because, I guess they had to shrink the routes because everybody's buying too much stuff. Yeah, they can't. It was always one guy for years. Always the same guy. Hey, what's going on? Now it's 3. Out of nowhere. I never know who I'm going to get.
They need 2 other trucks, 3 times, the service.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm no different. I'm always buying shit on there. It's not.
Same. There's very few days I don't have something show up.
Out here. Yeah, right. And then you got, same as me probably, you just got random people sending you stuff.
I'll very easily be downstairs in the basement working on my bike, and I'm like, yo, I need some new tubeless valve stems.
Yep.
Swipe.
And just like
I'm not waiting to put an order together.
Yeah.
I'll place 4 orders today.
Right.
At various times. I
don't know why. I always am wary to do it right off the bat. I'm it's too easy. So I just make myself wait. It's do I really need that? Hold on.
I'm not great about waiting.
It's a weird, I just got too much shit.
Yeah.
I feel with the shirts, you offered me a shirt and I was like, I got so many damn shirts. Dude, I can't.
And believe me, no one understands.
Yeah. You own a apparel
brand.
company.
The amount of shirts that show up at my house are insane.
Oh, dude. I've got 200 in the basement because I thought I was going to do this kind of Under Armour type material. And they turned out kind of to be shitty. So they're just there now. And it's what the fuck, man? Don't make these. I thought I was going to do something kind of like you're talking about before I even had the YouTube channel, just do an apparel company. But it was this is stupid. No, I'm not doing that.
It's its own monster, man. And it's been a fun business. I really still like it, and I'm trying to get better of enjoying the process of it.
How do you go about getting your design? Do you hire random or you got the same guy?
So I've got 2 that I basically keep on retainer. Mm-hmm. And one of which I've worked with Drew for a really long time at Slash, and then the other guy Kyle works for his freelance company is Wild Giant.
Okay.
And I go between the 2 for 99%. Now I will come up with concepts of what I want for art.
Just a roundabout outline, and then
or I'll sketch something up, or
or
I can do that to a pretty good extent to be this is the verbiage, this is the style, here's a mood board to say here's color schemes I'd like to stick with and direction I'd like this to go.
Is that generally how far you'll go to show them where you're going? Okay.
And that way I give as much direction as I can, but then I want their take on that direction. From that point on,
do you ever give them the same thing and see who comes up with?
No, because then I'm competing with my money.
Yeah, that's
it doesn't
true.
make any sense.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
I've paid for 2 things that, because if I want the same thing done from them differently, I just get branded stuff, right? Just stuff that has the brand logo on it, not like a drop. Mm-hmm. Now I've done, have one support the other one, hey, do the branding for this one, and I'm going to have them do all the graphic art.
Right, so work a little bit together on it. Gotcha.
But yeah, it's right now I basically got everything lined out on drops through January.
Really?
It's the first time I've been that far ahead.
How often are you coming up with new material, or new...
I'm currently at a pace that I can't make stuff fast enough, so I just log it.
Once a month you've got a new...
Every single month, so I for sure right now in the rhythm of I'm dropping a pair of our training shorts, which have sold well every month, so a new pair of those. Mm-hmm. a new like graphic tee drop, I guess would be like a release. Mm-hmm. One of those a month, and then usually another something I'm dropping.
Okay, so like the T-shirts and stuff, those are kind of like, these are just a nonstop thing that happens.
Depends on what they are, right? Like, so if it's got something that just says the brand on it, like that's, I call that like an essential. Mm-hmm. They're not really a drop.
It's
like
the brand, it's the
they're not gonna release and have as big a spike in sales as drops do.
Right.
So drops have, for me, have a concept and have kind of a message behind them and why I landed on that, and then I write to support it.
Oh, okay.
Or talk about it on podcast, and it's any of these type of things. Like one of the ones we've got coming up, I'm stoked on is like later this month we've got one, and the shirts just say like no gimmick, no hacks. It's hard work. Like that's the secret. Mm-hmm. It's hard work done for a really fucking long time. That's the secret everyone uses to be successful.
Yep.
And so we did a line with that, and then I've got one coming up after that is this inspiration is for amateurs. That's a Chuck Close quote I like, and it's inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just get to work.
Yep, same kind of concept.
Same concept. Yep. That like if you're sitting around waiting for it, like it ain't coming, dude, man. Like the inspiration comes in the process.
That is the funnest realization that you get once you start to kind of make it a little bit. You're like, oh, you just have to keep doing it. There's literally nothing else. You get better as you keep doing it.
There's no there, right? Like, I mean, with your channel growth and where you started, I mean, there had to have been a feeling of like, 100,000. Like, if you reach that, like, you're chilling.
Oh my God. It was like, who knows when I'll get there, but maybe if I do this a little bit, like if I just keep doing it, maybe I'll get there.
And that's really, to me, that's the first big, like getting 10K is cool.
Yeah.
Because once you're like, there's a lot of people watching.
You're doing something right.
Right. And then,
if you do it
100K
is something. You're definitely like,
you're in the game.
Yes. Yeah. I've got my foot in the door. Like, and then my big thing is like, I look at the time frame, like how fast did I get there? And then I compare it to other channels. Like in my category, it's like, okay, I did it pretty quick in comparison. Yeah. But you're more on the Instagram different front, and you're not like if I'm not getting or finding something that I did wrong or could do better in each video, then the video was shit for me. Like I need to be getting better always. And that's why I just jumped to one every 2 weeks, because it's like, I need more time to edit because I can do a lot better of a job. And I just need more time. Like it's not something that can just be put on the back burner or just kind of pump out anymore. I'm getting more quality, so I need to give time for that. And it's not like I'm working less by giving myself one video every 2 weeks.
No, dude,
it's more, it's just more.
It's because it's a better video.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Yeah, it's, and for whatever reason, like I also don't have a problem with for whatever reason, the content I create didn't pop. And that's fine.
Right.
Because I just, if I'm looking at the best way to, describe success to me as a metric, it's not on my follower count or subscribers. Mm-hmm. The metric I use is business. Right. And it's, what is my income to follower ratio?
Are you profiting? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had somebody told me like you should be making $1 per subscriber or something a year, which was like
that's such a shit metric of like.
That sounds like, what are you basing that off of?
Like there's no rule for that.
Yeah.
There's not even a great rule for like what you should charge advertising. You should charge the most you can. That's right. Whatever's the most someone's willing to pay is the amount that you should be paid to do it.
That's a tough one all in itself too. I have a real weird time with that.
It's tough, right? Because of your own ego and your own like imposter syndrome.
Oh
that tends to kick in and that voice, right? Like that's a tough one to deal with.
Oh my gosh. Huge. I mean, well, you came from a sales background, so you kind of knew like a little bit of the negotiating and whatnot. And just enough. The ballpark, like when you like even negotiating period, like I kind of came into it. I have a decent mindset on it. Like always go for more. Whatever you think, just say more.
Right.
Just not too much more, because then they're like,
well, yeah, there's a number that they're not going to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the biggest number I can say that's not offensive?
Yes, exactly. I don't want to offend you, and I don't want to come off as like...
Unless it's a thing I really don't want to do.
You're right. And I did that once for a thing. I didn't end up doing it, but I was like, I don't know, $5,000. And they were like, well, you don't quite have... It sounded like, oh, you're ready to like maybe say 4,000 and that would work. And it's like, well, I was thinking maybe 1,000 is what I'd actually get.
Yeah, and man, I've had those too. And like, man, I've responded to companies. I mean, the first time I ever kind of felt that, and like I remember that feeling, is like, remember that you're at the wheel. They want your thing.
Right.
They came to you. You didn't email them.
That's a whole different thing.
And so, not only that, like, I mean, me getting this ad doesn't change whether or not I was able to pay the mortgage this month. So it's complete lagniappe extra money.
Yeah.
And tell them whatever fucking number I feel like.
Yeah. And if
they say no, that's fine.
Yeah. And if you get it, it's like, oh,
sick.
All right.
Then I'll care. You know, I'll really, really care. And then there's other stuff that is just such a cool fit. I want to work with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not fair to say like I strictly charge this per this. It's not how it works.
Yeah, I guess depending on what it is, some stuff you might even like your coffee. When I had your coffee, I just threw your little ad up at the end of a video because I was like, that's just good coffee.
and that's how I feel about it too, right? Like I send that stuff out to people with very much at least the opening of the conversation is like, look, try it.
Yeah.
If you don't like the coffee, I'm not interested in working with someone who doesn't like the coffee.
Yeah, it's like, well, how much do you pay me? Maybe I like it if you pay me enough.
Also, coffee's a really easy one. Not many people turn down free coffee.
Oh, no. Hell no.
It's the same thing as like free meat. Which I got a company I work with that sends me 30 pounds of meat every month.
I reached out to, I never got an answer or anything, but have you heard of Joyce Farms? They're like a regenerative farming company. Just all do like have you heard of regenerative farming?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Familiar with that. So that's similar to Stay Classy Meat's the company I work for.
Stay Classy Meat.
They're out of Montana. It's all direct from farmers. It's all family farmed.
Nice.
And it's have been doing it for a long time. So it's single source, it's free range, it's grass fed, it's not bison, it's elk. It's
right. Yeah, that's what Joyce Farm. No elk, but
a bunch of rads. So they get elk from New Zealand. Is the only place, like one of the only out of Montana that they get. You can't raise. There's a couple places, but they're not doing great with it in the States. I don't understand. But yeah, I get cow as well as fish and other stuff all from them. They're awesome.
Yeah,
and they've been a really rad company to work for. Meat's cool.
But that's what I mean. They got bison, all the same kind of stuff, and it's like, man, if I could get a meat guy or something,
I may be able to help.
Like, holy shit! But it's like that's one of those things where it's like, all right, am I going a little too far out? Like,
does your audience not eat?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you not grill things? Do you not? I mean,
yeah, sure. I guess.
What's better than hanging out and having grilling some stuff and riding in the backyard? I think that's an easy fit. What I think, like I said, is a bad fit would be you doing stuff for like Blue Chews. Like a erectile dysfunction pill, right? Like, because they'll hit any on
Which I've seen weird. Oh yeah, those guys.
Do it. If they want to sponsor the podcast, they're more than welcome. Podcast is open for sponsorship from anyone on the planet. I don't care.
Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm talking to anybody. Like, you're talking to me.
Yeah, pump that back up. Yeah.
You're talking to me out of nowhere. Like, not in the health industry whatsoever. But
but you do physical things.
Sure, but I just mean as far as like sponsorship. Like, well, you're talking to this bike guy. You're talking to this.
I cover a lot of ground.
You could get any sponsor you want. It doesn't matter. It might touch. I might bring up like, my dick ain't working too great. Like, and there you go. It works perfectly. My dick works great though.
Yeah, that's noted. My gear works just fine. Yeah, and I mean, at least with like Stay Classy Meats or whatever, like everyone eats. And it's just offering a different quality that avoids factory farming, which is something I'm bummed on.
They do the regenerative farming stuff. That's all. I mean, I was a vegetarian for a long time just because of the environmental impact, whatnot, whether that's all true or makes any sense. did it for that reason. Got hooked on the bandwagon just from a documentary, like a dummy.
Sure.
But did that for like 2 years, and then I heard about regenerative farming. It was like, oh, this is putting.
The more I dabble in psychedelics, the more I'm really bummed out by factory farming.
Oh yeah.
And so if my choices in my life right now were eating that food or vegetarian or vegan, I'd probably choose the latter. Because it bums me out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
and like
awful.
The whole system of it bums me out.
It's shitty that you kind of, I don't know if it has to be there, but it feels like it with the amount of people.
And I feel that way about it too, right? Like you don't get affordable protein for 330 million people.
Yeah, no.
And it's all grass-fed, free range.
That. Like I'm paying for it. Like I want it because I'm lucky to have it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think it's affordable to be nice to animals.
No, but we also waste a ton of product.
Sure, I imagine so.
And I think that we could get away from our country being such a quantity-driven country to a quality-driven country that if you're going to get meat that is of higher quality and has more nutrition value and is more bioavailability as far as the nutrition getting into your system, because it doesn't have added hormones, it doesn't have any of these things. Like it actually got to develop as a creature
naturally, however it develops.
And I think it's better for you. I think it reduces inflammation. I think it changes a lot of stuff. And so you don't need as much protein.
So with that stuff, like I say that, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like it's got to be better for inflammation. It's got to be better for my digestive tract. Like it's got to be better for everything all around, right?
Right. Like race cars run better on race gas than they do gas pumps.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. That's
all
a good,
engines
that's a good
run
point.
better on quality.
That's a good point. But I don't know that. I guess I haven't like really experimented to see. Like if I just went to Walmart and bought whatever the lowest price steak was there, if I still ate healthy technically and just bought the shit version of it, like would you feel that difference, or is it? I think
that difference could be the difference in like what we talked about with the bikes of like, do I think I can tell the difference between Pro and S Works? Only if the rest of my shit's dialed in enough. Like if my fitness is strong enough that I can climb the hill anyway, I can tell the difference in those two bikes.
Yeah.
So the more dialed in the rest of my things are, the more I can tell that 2 or 3% change.
So, well, that's a good point then to even say like, well, should we even be worrying about that, or should we be trying to?
Like, there's some other big pictures I think we could deal with first. One of which would be health in our country. Yeah. And which isn't a priority.
I don't even know where you'd start with that, because it's
back to education. I think you have to go back to the education process. And
you think people don't know? What don't they know that they can't make the decision?
I still think most people don't understand that weight loss is a math equation. It's calories in versus calories out. It doesn't have to do with the food you eat.
Right.
Now, with that said, better quality foods
run
the system better.
The type of calories
matter.
You can't eat ice cream.
Simply for weight loss or weight gain, it doesn't matter. It is calories in versus calories out. But the way that your system burns those calories varies on the type of ingredients. You know, there's going to be... And then there's what does your body operate well on?
Right.
But so it's tough to sell me on the idea that look, whether it's vegan or vegetarian or keto or carnivore or whatever your diet choice is, for really simple rules for me that have worked very, very well and have helped with inflammation and help with crashing after big meals or doing any of that, are intermittent fasting.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think has been great for me. And if that doesn't work for you for glucose levels or any of the other health concerns, that maybe this isn't the starting point. At least be able to identify the things you eat as a single ingredient. That's rice.
Right. Yeah.
That is a carrot.
Not have a laundry list of like
even bread. Right? There's a lot going on with bread that you don't digest the same way that you digest carbohydrates like rice. Like you don't get insulin spikes from eating rice.
Right.
And if you're not jacking up insulin sensitivity, you're not getting pre-diabetic, you're not going to get the energy crash, you're not going to have all the other things that follow along with eating bad, cycling into eating bad again.
Bread tastes fucking awesome.
It
and
does.
Rice does not taste awesome unless you...
And a bit of moderation.
Bit of moderation.
You know what? Like,
I don't know if that's something that can necessarily be taught. That's a tough one you just got to figure out.
It is a tough one you got to figure out, right?
Yeah.
But it's also, maybe if we stop treating every single meal like an experience, and some meals can just be fuel.
Yes. I think that could be probably the biggest turning point. If you could convince people like, look, this shouldn't, well, I don't think we're going to get away from that though. That's a tough one to avoid. Like, yeah, anytime I eat, like, I'm like, okay, I got to get this thing ready. I got to go set this over here. I'm going to turn on the TV. That's my biggest thing is unconscious eating. Like,
oh, dude, eat because you're bored?
No, not necessarily that, but like,
I'll make a big life.
You're right. I'll make a big plate of something and then I turn something on. So I'm just.
Yep. Shoveling in.
Yeah. And then there's like, turn the fucking TV off and pay attention to how your body's feeling. Because I eat until I'm about to explode.
It's the only way to eat.
It's
taken a long time, man, for me to figure out portion control.
I do not.
But again, I think a lot of that goes back to education, right? That like, what if we were raised with more nutritional information in school? If the quality of meals in school were actually given a shit about.
Yeah. Well, they need. I don't know what they're teaching now, but I know what they taught me was horseshit.
Same.
So
right, like same, like the whole food pyramid was completely upside down based on what is nutritionally valuable.
But it was there. They were teaching us something.
They're trying.
Maybe they're teaching the wrong stuff.
The generation that made all those rules and implemented them throughout the 50s and 60s has not been a generation that's willing to go, that's not right anymore.
Right.
We should move on.
Or they're still stuck until they're gone.
Like, the food pyramid's a good idea. We just have things arranged incorrectly.
Fix it.
You know, we are a machine that runs better on fat. We are a machine that can run better on, say what you want about the diet or food source. And that's really, as long as you can identify it as single ingredients, good job fucking that up.
Yeah, I think my whole thing is I try to get stuff that is, I at least know what's in there. Like, this is all, there's a lot of things in there, but I can read them.
Hummus is pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Like it's chickpeas, it's olive oil, it's and based on the hummus you buy, right? And like we worry about that with supplements and drinks and anything like that. Like honestly, probably the grossest thing I consume all the time is Monster.
Oh yeah, Monster's a tough one to get off.
But there's 0 calories, and so at least I will.
Those 0 calorie ones feel the worst in me though.
Oh man, I drink
don't know
those
why.
constantly.
Oh yeah, no, I'm on board. Especially they came out. What's that Hydro one?
The Hydro one's good. So I've worked with them for now the last 4 years.
Well, damn. Well, shout out to Monster because that Hydro,
man.
That Hydro drink's fucking dynamite.
Like Gatorade plus caffeine. What's not to like?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've been. I take the Kratom.
You be careful. I get you set up. You'll have a fucking pallet of it show up here.
Oh Christ! I don't need that.
They delivered 2,000 pounds of it to my house.
2,000 pounds of Monster.
Yeah. Like I have a fridge in the garage in my basement that's
just
fully
for
stocked.
Monster.
Yeah.
What are you, like an ambassador for them or something? No.
Yeah,
shit.
I've been a sponsored athlete by Monster for 4 years.
So what are they? 4 years. So what were they sponsoring you for? Because
best in the world at a thing.
Yeah, but that was past the prime, right? Like you were.
It was like right at the end, but I still had the audience.
It sounds
They're sponsoring the eyes, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough thing for.
Right? Like, I mean, they're sponsoring me and I've always sold it, and I never had any of my deals or contracts based on performance. Like, hey, if I win a world championships, you guys pay me.
Mm-hmm. You just got the personality to like.
Right.
Look, I can sell your product better than just the guy who just does good at something.
That's ideally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the first sponsors I started going for whenever I started trying to get sponsored were ones that I was already spending money on.
Right. Yeah, dude, same.
So I reached out to companies that I was buying stuff from them.
Yep.
And I would reach out with the type of idea that like, I'd propose it would be cool for us to work together because I believe I can make you more money.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be a benefit to
By
them.
talking,
Yeah.
how do I help?
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
Show
Yep.
value.
Yep, whenever I reach out to companies, I'm always like, look, I think this is a perfect pair. I've got the exact demographic that you would need. Like, I bet that I could sell a lot of your stuff, and this is a market that you haven't tapped yet. Like,
Or you can get my $30.
or yeah,
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean?
What do you
Like-
What do you want to do? But a lot of the times, I don't get. That's probably just because I don't have a foot in the door, and I'm just sending it to their info at blah blah
And that's
blah,
tough.
which is
Yeah, having a connector changes it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You've just like you said, if you can just send a text like, "Hey, I got this buddy
Right.
that would be a great fit." Like,
Right.
Okay, great. Like,
Yeah, and then
less paperwork.
And also, it's not them reaching out as a stranger.
Yeah.
So, like, all I ever did with outside sales was a middleman. That's what I'm good at.
So you're used to that conversation of just kind of getting things rolling.
And I'm very careful with, like, I don't get paid based on deals that I set up for my friends. I don't.
That's good. Yeah. Don't dabble
That ain't
in
got shit to do
Don't
with
have
me.
Yeah.
I will introduce you to whatever business happens over here. It
Yeah.
got nothing to do with me.
That's smart. Yeah.
I'm not interested in helping. I'm not interested in being part of negotiations.
There's a lot of people that just do that. Like, that's their thing is I hook you up, and I've been offered that before too. And it's like, that sounds weird.
Sounds super gross, right?
But to be fair, I mean, I do like with Squarespace or Skillshare, I get agents who like message me all the time. It's like,
Well,
I guess
occasionally
I'll do that.
I occasionally get someone who, like, a recent thing that I did working with Michelob.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it
exactly.
was a company reached out on behalf of Michelob. Michelob hired them and said, "Hey, we'd like to find people that do this,
Find
this,
me
and
people
this."
that'll
and,
work good for this.
Yeah, and they found me.
Yeah.
and which then found my girlfriend and cool stuff. But yeah, so except like I know the guy that I'm dealing with there is getting paid something of what we got paid.
Oh, you think? Oh, yeah.
Somehow,
yeah, surely.
right?
Yeah, he's
like he's got a
finding them.
budget to operate with, and I just don't want to do that with my friends.
Yeah, well, that would ruin it.
And
to
then-
put tension that there's money. The money always.
It's weird.
Causes-
I don't like that between those levels of my friends. I don't like confusing business and relationships.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I like to just give them stuff. If I get something, like I just got like a bunch of grips, I'm like, "You want some grips? You want?
Right. Right. Like, yeah, dude. It's definitely you look at the channels that both of us, I think, would watch and see and be like, yo, like, that's gross. Like the level of promotion. But
There's
at the
a
same
few of
time,
them.
they're huge.
There's a lot of them that aren't huge, and they do that, and they fall victim to like just, and then their channel goes to shit because they oversaturated it with stupid ads. Like, I'm sponsored by this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this. They got a whole list that they have to go through before the video starts.
I don't want $110 ads.
Yeah,
I want one for 1,000.
Exactly. Yes.
And not only that, like for me, like the sponsors that I've got, like I've had for years. I think we're off. We're off again. This will be the last 30 minutes. We'll bring her in for a landing. You know, and for me, and I think what's important to my audience, and I think why it works well, is I have worked with the same 5 companies for at least that many years.
Yeah, and
I don't jump.
How do you find yourself getting kind of stuck? Like, do you feel weird? Do you ever ask for more?
All the time.
Is that okay? So there's
Anytime
no
a
weird...
contract comes up and it's time to negotiate, we renegotiate. But look, man, it's based on metrics.
Yeah.
How much money am I making you guys? Mm-hmm. Well, I think that deserves paying me this.
How do you know? Are you just going off of what they tell you, or because that's my thing is like, well,
because they can lie to you for sure, right?
well, they can lie, and like you don't know all of the sales exactly that are related to you.
Of course, look, there's going to be people that show up that followed your path, that bought, that just didn't use a code.
I think a lot,
maybe. A lot,
like,
right?
They just have it in their head now, like, oh yeah.
But that's why the companies I've worked with, I've built genuine relationships with. Because I know they won't lie to me.
Right.
They're not out to fuck me over. Mm-hmm. If they were, I don't work with them.
Yeah. And
happy to part ways.
Yeah. You're useful to them too, so they don't.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, it's just a matter of kind of figuring out what it's worth to you to do the thing, and
That's a tough one, though.
It's tough, right? And I mean, I remember when I got let go of my real job, I went on a handful of job interviews. It was very fun because I didn't want to take any of the jobs.
Oh, you were just like...
I had no fucking desire to. However, after working in an industry for 10 years, as a sales rep, like my network and connections are valuable.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh, so you were going into each interview like...
Well, I don't want to work for you.
So you let them
I want to do the thing that I'm currently doing on the side that pays me as much as I'm going to think you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
And so whenever it would get to that point of like, what was my proposal for a salary? I said such an astronomical number because I have to factor in that I don't have time to run my other business. So now you have to buy that business from me.
You're taking my time. Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to pay me for this salary and this one. I understand that's not reasonable.
Yep.
But if you would like me to do this job, that's what it costs.
Yeah. Hire somebody else. Like, I don't care. Yeah.
It was that conversation. Yeah. It was like, I fucking told somebody $400,000 a year
to do what? Just
same job I was getting paid much less than that to do.
Laugh their ass off? Like,
basically. Yeah. They were like, that's a lot more than we were hoping. I was like, I figured. I also like refused to bring a resume.
Oh, really?
I was like, you know who I am and who I've worked for 10 years?
Yeah, that
sheet of paper is the difference in why you're going to hire me? Like, if that's the case,
your college degree,
I don't need to work out.
Yeah.
You called me.
That probably is pretty fun to just
I didn't put resumes out. You called me because you know I needed, like, I'm jobless.
I bet you were the best interview for every single job, too, because you didn't give a fuck.
I just didn't care.
It was just like, well, that guy probably seen, but he wants $400,000.
And like, I was very honest with him. I was like, look, chances are I'm going to still think a lot about this thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
And at some point you're going to fire me. Like, that's what's going to happen. At
So
some
you weren't
point,
exactly selling yourself very much either.
Well, I'm not lying to him.
I was going to say, did you...
They called me and wanted to have an interview, and I said, I'm really not interested. And they said, well, can we meet for lunch? And I said, sure.
Well, I'm going to assume you didn't get any of the jobs.
No,
okay.
No one made an offer to me. I had a couple offers that were nice, but like, I know that the value I'd bring their company won't justify what they were going to pay me.
Right. Didn't feel right.
They're going to fire me at some point.
Yeah.
Because I can't fulfill that amount of money.
Unless you put all your time and
even
effort into that.
Even then, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not a thing I care about, and so it's going to be tough to care about it. Life's too short, dude.
Yeah.
Life's too short.
To do something that stupid where you're
with recent changes in mindset to everything, like, part of it is just this, like, I'm very aware that I'm going to die.
Right. Yep.
That's a fact.
Yep. That's the same.
What I don't know is how long I get until that happens.
When that's going to happen. And
could be 6 hours. Could be 40 years.
Yep.
Somewhere probably between those two numbers.
Yeah, dude. It's a terrifying thought.
I find a lot of relief in that thought.
That it could happen anytime. Yeah, well, that's true. Me as well, because like that's why I just keep doing what I'm doing. Because it's like
none of this matters.
Well, if YouTube goes away, who gives a fuck? Maybe I'll die before it does. I don't know. I should just keep. The next thing. Yes, exactly. I should just keep going. And then I've still got like a driver in my dump truck, so it's like, well,
dude,
if all shit goes to hell, I'll just go back to that or something.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I think so many people on the outside looking in look at this lifestyle or this creator world that we've entered as risky. And I don't think it's a risk.
It's as risky as owning a business.
Yes.
It's the exact same, to me anyway. It's just like, you just have to work a lot and
the
it'll be fine.
The advantage is if this business, Backyard Trail Builds, fails, you don't have a rent to sell off. You're not stuck in a lease. You're not.
I've got nothing invested.
You could dismantle this whole thing in 30 minutes.
I could stop right now.
Right.
And just never do it again.
Right. And go back to driving a truck.
And there'd just be people like, what?
It would still just residually make money for the next couple months.
It would still keep going, probably for years to come. It would make anything worth anything.
Correct.
To maybe pay for my lunch that day.
But look, I don't find it a risk because you work hard.
Right. No.
Like, that's never up for debate.
Exactly.
You fucking work hard. And whether that's going to be working hard for you or working hard for someone else,
You know
you'll
it
be
too.
just
like,
fine.
Yeah, you're working hard and you're like, no, what I'm doing is it's not a risk at all because I see me putting in the work. It feels like I'm doing it. Like
and like for me, I look at also what I've done with the brand or anything else that like I could probably handle creative director roles for a company.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too. It builds so many other skill sets. Like I could go either build trail, I could go make media for somebody
There's people
else.
who make a great living traveling and building trails now with places like Bentonville or Springfield getting grown out, right?
It's a legitimate job now. You can open a trail building company if you want, and you'll get the work.
Dude, I mean, there's also, I don't think it's the farthest stretched thing, especially with the celebrity that our world is obsessed with or anything else, that like there could be like a Bentonville or Springfield or one of these areas that's building up that wants a section built by Seth's Backyard Builds.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a way to advertise people coming to your town.
I've been asked, not by Bentonville by any means, but I've had like, there was some place in Michigan or whatever.
Super
but it was
cool,
like
man.
a city was like reaching out. I was like, whoa, that would be insane.
That's awesome.
But that's where, that was pretty kind of, it was like last year. And it was like, I
let me reach
turned
back
it down
out. Yeah.
because I was like, I don't know enough about building. I don't feel comfortable. You don't want to pay me.
I think that's smart knowing what you're not good at.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know when that ends because I always feel that way. Like, even if somebody asked me now, like, come build the trail, I'd still be like, I don't know.
I think you're good enough now at learning on the fly that you'll figure it out that you could do it.
That subscriber trail is definitely a big confidence boost of like, okay, I can make a pretty fun, flowy trail that I think people would appreciate and like.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you treated, that trail in Michigan or Springfield would be easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Treat that like you did the user, like the subscriber trail.
Oh, yeah. Make it a whole series
and
for sure.
You could prep here and then haul a box trailer down from U-Haul.
Oh, yeah. Just
full of stuff.
Hang out there for however, a month or whatever.
Or not even do that. I think you could go and do 2 days of building and come home and then get your drawing set up and you know that you need this many boards cut. You could do all that here.
Yeah, I mean, that would be ideal. That's kind of what my end goal would be like. I don't know. Go live somewhere for 2 months, build the trail there. Go live somewhere else, build a trail there. Like, that would be rad.
Full van life.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if that's for you.
Buy a house and throw up a rental property. I just built the trail there. Hey, Airbnb, baby.
Same route we're going. We're looking at property to start picking up and do Airbnbs with. Yep.
Oh my gosh. I will tell you off the podcast, a great place that's going to be booming, I think, pretty soon. That would be, and it's close to here.
Perfect.
Like, it'll be, that's some good stuff.
The thing is, like I look at it immediately like, so I'm into it. I'll fund it. But I don't want to manage it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm saying
I'll decorate it.
Well, how do you? Especially, I mean, if you did something like right close to here, you could do that. But if you do an Airbnb anywhere else, well, I can't go there and clean it up after somebody leaves.
And what I would hire, I mean, there's plenty of companies now that manage Airbnbs.
Oh, that's just what they do. They just go and clean them up after somebody leaves. And
yeah, well, I think, they'll help find cleaning crew. They'll make sure it gets cleaned up. They just take a percentage. There's someone happy to be a middleman in there to do the part that people don't want to do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it sounds like you've got like the delegation thing pretty handled as well.
That I do well.
I've got zero experience in, so it'd be
that I do pretty well.
I'm terrified to let go of anything that I do.
Oh, man.
I got my hands in all of it.
See, I'm terrified to give up freedom.
Yeah, that's a good point. Time.
Like I want to spend as many of whatever that number of days I have left. Mm-hmm. I want to spend as many of it doing things I want to do. For me.
Right.
And the problem with that is there's a bunch of really cool shit I want to do before I'm dead. A lot of it's expensive. So I'm going to need money to do those really cool things.
Yep.
I'm not the dude to spend it on fancy car or fucking.
Oh, yeah. No,
I mean, I've got a handful of bullshit luxury items, but for the most part.
Yeah. Like this, I would literally never want anything other than this.
Right.
I'd have no desire, maybe more property.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be it.
I could also be like, oh, so I dig the setup you've got here. Like, I'd be like, well, I could probably put a pool in.
It's quiet. Yeah. You could just throw a little accent, something like that. But like, I don't need anything else. I'd rather save it or like buy more stuff. That's the best thing about all of this is like everything that I want to buy, it's a write-off because it goes to the business. Everything I want.
How about once you realize that you're also paid as an advertiser, right? Which makes you a model. And because you're doing that, everything's write-offable. Clothing, haircuts, bike gear.
Food. That's the one that I want to get written off.
Yeah.
Technically, you're a model, huh? Is that true? I guess, kind of.
My accountant doesn't seem to have an issue with writing it all off.
Well, none of the accountants do. Hey, if you want to do that, that's fine. That's how mine is,
Well,
too.
mine's, I mean, but yeah.
We could spin that.
Everything's a write-off.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, and you...
Because I sell a lifestyle.
What we're doing is I imagine someday they're going to be like, all right, we got to see what
they
these
may
guys
catch
are
up to
doing.
this. There was a long time that, like, PayPal wasn't taxed.
Oh, my God. This is like... Literally, like you just said, I feel like anything...
Oh, yeah, we're first gen.
Yeah, we could just write it all off. It's all a business expense. What I eat, I got to be healthy to go do what I'm doing.
It's true.
Like, I can't go out there feeling like shit. Like,
Right.
Yeah, that's a good... I'll have to bring that up.
Yeah. I think,
next year.
yeah, dude. I mean, especially, like, if you order any bike parts...
Oh, yeah.
Any bike, anything.
I was doing that with the dump truck. When I was just doing the dump truck business, I was like, I bought a new bike. Can we somehow... He's like, do you ever wear a shirt of your company while you ride? I was like, no, but I could say I do.
I do.
He's like,
all the time.
all right, it's advertising.
Right.
It's like, sweet.
That's the kind of deal with, like, the giveaways. So then the whole giveaway is a write-off.
Oh, it's a write-off. Is that like a charity thing type?
Well,
or
it's advertising.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just
It's advertising money.
Oh, crap. So many good ways to
Yes.
get it all back.
Trying like hell to hold on to it as much of it as you can.
Yeah. That's the weird thing is like trying to save it because I'd like to just save it in case I want something. It's like if you save it, you might have to pay taxes. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, right? That there's definitely like, we need to spend more money.
Yeah, that's a new experience I'm having.
It's very, very weird.
I need to go buy more shit.
I need to go buy more
which
things.
Feels real wrong. I don't.
It does, right? Like, especially if you're more of a frugal person. But the beauty of that to me is I think you can very easily get caught in that cycle of you can't let your YouTube channel get based on the new cool shit you bought.
Oh, yeah. No,
right?
not at all.
Because then you're
Not
stuck
at
in a
all.
window that you have to make more money to buy the newest new cool thing.
Oh, no, I'm straight. I never go into debt. I
Right.
cannot stand being in debt.
Well, I mean, even not debt, but like there's people making tons of money that are still living paycheck to paycheck because they live at the absolute edge of the means.
Yeah, no,
That's not my lifestyle either.
No.
I drive a 2014 Tundra.
Yeah, this is the first.
I love my truck.
My sign over there is, that's what I drove for forever, and then I gave it to her, and I just got this, but it was
That's pretty cool though, man.
No,
I dig it. The Colorados are a really cool truck.
I love it, and it's a 2016 too. Like I didn't buy a new truck.
2014.
Yeah, there you go.
I am.
You don't need it. Oh yeah,
When I get back from Colorado,
I was gonna say you're gearing up.
Yeah, so when I get back from Colorado, I'm going to pick up a project vehicle.
A project vehicle. What does that mean?
So the vehicle I'm gonna fix up. And I mean, I'll pay someone to fix it up. I'm not gonna be under the hood any more than
you're gonna have fixed up.
Yes, but it's a car I've always wanted.
Like an old muscle car or something, or
it's
like
a '64 El Camino.
Dude.
So I'm super
in high
pumped.
school, I had a '82 El Camino.
No way.
Silver, had like the black like racing stripes down. It was cool.
I'm pumped, man. It's gonna, I'm probably gonna get it and LS swap it.
Before you leave, my dad, I don't know what year it is. I don't think it's '64, but it's an El Camino.
Come on.
Big. Oh yeah, it's cool.
No way. I totally have to go see it.
We'll go check it out before you go. But
so the plan is, I'll get it and drop the LS engine in it and do a 6-speed and fuel injection and kind of resto mod the whole thing. And so, it's a mid 500 horsepower El Camino.
You're going to fucking dig his.
I'm going to get a custom bike mount milk for the back and the bed.
Oh, there you go.
That's really I love my truck, but it's not really a truck anymore. I can't put shit in the back.
Yeah, your El Camino ain't going to be like something
better than this.
Shit. Kind of. They don't go very deep.
Like if I bought a grill from Home Depot, which I did this week.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could. You can be a balling
I can't put it in the back of the truck.
You can be balling with a grill hanging out the back of your sick ass El Camino.
The El Camino would be fun, man. And then I think at some point I'll build a Sprinter van.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with what you do.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
That's the way to go for sure.
It'd be really cool. I'd like to have it set up to be able to like podcast inside of it.
That'd be cool.
Or in the doorway. I think that would be a very interesting gimmick to the podcast.
Yeah, and you could do that pretty easy, I think. Especially, I mean,
this setup works great.
This,
right?
and it sounds pretty damn good. As far as I've heard.
The quality comes across. I like kind of the ambient noise in the background of like chickens or the.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you can somewhat hear them.
I mean, look, a perfect world, I would have a really nice studio set up, but no one travels to me, and I've come to accept that over the last.
Yeah. And I mean, that might
10
change
years.
down the future.
Well, or I'll pay to fly someone to me for a podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, that's another option.
And that's when people like
Get some.
Oh boy, you can pay somebody, but it's like it'd be cool if they just wanted to come out to like get the reach.
A lot of the people at this point, like I've never had anyone say I charge for episodes. I've never.
Nobody yet?
No one ever.
That's good. I'm surprised, honestly.
I would fucking laugh.
Yeah.
And I've only been big timed by one person I wanted to have a guest on, and it's a shame, but she just didn't get it, and that's okay.
That sucks.
That's all right.
It's okay, but it's also like, you're in your head, man.
Hey, man, maybe it would have gone really poorly.
Oh, well, yeah, it probably would have.
Probably would
if she wants to get paid to.
Well, she didn't want to get paid.
Oh.
She just, the idea that I was asking for an hour of her time for a conversation was crazy.
Well, that's even worse. Is she's like, she just, Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it just wasn't going to be a fit.
Damn.
The shame was like, we have known each other a long time, and I think the conversation would be interesting if she'd have the conversation.
Really?
But, whatever. It's her choice.
So she'll talk to you, but...
Yeah. We know each other.
That's
she operates in this world too, and I think... No. I don't know that she would shine her brightest in that format.
Oh, okay. Well, that...
You know what I mean?
If she wrote it off like that, like, I'm just not good at podcasts.
Right.
That would be
different. I believe that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but didn't want to say that
I think it's the easier answer, acting like, this is a thing that, whatever.
Oh, I don't have time. Got it. That's whatever. To each their own if they feel that way.
Dude, I super dig what you've got set up, man. Like I said, I want to come do another video and explore the whole thing and drag my buddy Zach out here. I know he's interested to come. Yeah,
dude, we'll get you
ride and
jumping some stuff too, or just slowly.
Gives me a whole nother excuse to order another bike.
Always an excuse.
That's all I need.
Even if you don't have an excuse, there's always.
I want to order. There's a really cool, like 150 travel bike Niner makes.
150 is good.
Their Rip is what it's called. The Rip 9. The Rip. I think that's what it is.
Ripmo?
It's like a 20. Yeah, Ripmo. No. That is
different.
Ebis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
So Niner makes the Rip, and it's their kind of free ride.
Yeah, kind of enduro bike.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
something pedalable.
Yeah,
but can handle a bit more of the down and fun, but slacker head tube angle.
Yeah, 150 would be great for something like this. That would
I don't
give you
need
a nice
anything
cushion.
more than that. Have you ridden an e-bike?
I've not ridden on a trail, but my buddy Dave, the one that we went and built, he rides an e-bike because he's got 50% lung capacity. So he's like, cool. Oh yeah, they're weird. They're so fucking weird.
Yeah,
it's a whole. I want one real bad.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
that threshold of fitness, right? That like if I was getting a road bike and wasn't quite in shape, but my friends were already in shape, like it's not a ton of fun to go ride with them because like after 10 miles, my legs are trashed, just like and they're going to ride 50.
They were going to do 50, and it's like, that'd
they
be cool
did
to
52 miles. I cut my trail at 32.
See, that sucks. That would have been cool to keep up. And then you're still developing handling skills.
Yes.
And it's and you can dial it in, however.
Yeah, the e-bike would have allowed me to ride that whole day with them.
Yep. And that would have been
really cool. Yeah.
And then you get to see shit that you wouldn't have seen.
I know.
And
that's how I look at it, man.
They're heavy, though. It's a different type
indeed.
The one that Dave has is 70 pounds because he strapped another battery onto it and DIY'd it so it would last all day long.
Right.
But I don't know how he jumps it, honestly. It's huge. And he's a big guy.
It's like riding a motorcycle. It's a bit more.
But he fucking nails everything.
Well, yeah, and it's a bit more heavy, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
all the weight's under you.
Yeah, that's what he said. Like, it almost helps him with, because it like
Dude, I
just
think that's
momentum.
an issue with like my bike. The Specialized doesn't jump well because it's so light. Like you can just
doesn't keep the momentum.
No, you don't feel it with you.
Yeah,
It just doesn't weigh enough.
Yeah, it doesn't have like
it weighs 10% of me. It just it just allows you to experience the world via bike is cool.
Yeah, and that's what, like, Dana's got an autoimmune disorder, so it's like, it'd be awesome to go ride Berryman, which is 26 miles, just like, and not have to even think about it.
Yeah, I haven't done that loop yet.
It's awesome.
My girlfriend and I we were going to through hike it and do like 2 nights on it.
I've done that too.
Did a very poor job. We got like 7 or 8 miles in, got to the first campsite that we were going to be at for that night. And I brought everything we could have needed except for the burner for my jet boil.
Ooh.
An irreplaceable,
Nice.
no hack piece.
Did you camp at that, the actual campground, like by the creek and whatnot?
The campground we were at the first night was like kind of more of an open field.
Okay.
It was like an open field and there's a spring.
Oh, with like the bathtub
Yes.
spring?
Yeah.
Yes, dude, that's
Yeah.
that biking trip where he was like cramping up the whole
Yeah.
time. He had ran out of water too, and that's where he filled up, is at that tub. But we had never been there before, so it was like, I guess this is okay.
Yeah, like I think I could do that whole trail on my gravel bike. I've just bought all the stuff for the gravel bike to be able to do it. So
I've got a gravel bike,
all right.
but it's not on brand. Let's just say.
You just need better stickers.
But I'd love to, yeah.
You just pull all the
stick
stickers
a
off of
sticker
that
on
one?
it, yeah. But no, I haven't gotten to do like a long packing trip or anything, but gravel biking is definitely fun. There's sometimes I'll just take it and ride it around just to like,
Yeah.
it's so much, because it's so reactive. Like,
Dude,
you just get to feel it.
We did 6 days on the HVIII Trail year before last. I mean, yeah, it was like 220 miles over 6 days.
Oh, shit.
And like most of it was fire road.
Okay.
Almost all.
Just long stretches.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, there was no single track.
Okay.
But man, it was cool, and the whole thing was supported. So like, there was a big F-350 that kind of folled us and would show up at camp, and they'd cook food for
no
us.
shit.
And
So
like,
you're
we
not
didn't
really-
have to carry any of our shit.
You're not really bike packing.
No. No.
Which is probably the nicest way to just pedal along. And
and then they just show up with water.
Oh, and they're
That's
grilling for you and stuff. Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a very nice trip. So what's next, man? What's your next feature you got going up?
The step up.
The step up.
So it's just a jump up onto a platform that will jump down essentially, but I'll do some sort of twist that I haven't thought of yet, as far as like
a barrel roll.
not a literal twist, but I'm into the artsy stuff now, like just trying to, like the arrow or the like weird creature drop thing.
That's
like,
great.
Or just putting the leaves on the shark fin that I did. Like, I'm really into doing something that makes them stand out.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
so.
Well, why? It doesn't have to be one way or the other. It can be both aesthetically pleasing and usable.
I'm really confused why it hasn't. I mean, it's been done, I guess, but I don't see anybody else doing it.
Well, you see, like bike
like-
parks and competitions will do it.
Yeah,
They'll make it.
yeah, a little bit, making it a little more aesthetic. I'm surprised there's no like art of it though. Like really, so there is one in Bentonville that's called Masterpiece. That's an all metal, like welded trail. It's fucking crazy looking.
I don't think
it's
I rode
brand
that
new.
one.
It's brand new.
Okay.
It just came out like maybe 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome. It's a weird. It's a really short, maybe like a quarter mile,
Yeah.
but it's just cool looking. It's just aesthetically. It's right next to the museum too. So
Right
the
on.
art museum. So it makes sense. But yeah, I'm getting more into that field as far as like what I want to keep building. Just more and more, just gnarly looking things, not necessarily gnarly riding things. I
Right.
guess.
Yeah. And I think, look, I don't think things always have to get bigger to be more impressive.
Yeah, and then I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do stuff where like maybe I didn't get hurt, but 10 years down the line, all of a sudden, all my joints are like, oh, I can't even do this anymore. Like, I'd like to do it till I'm 70 or, you know.
I mean, and I think another thing, like with feeling weird about monetizing, like your shit's not free.
Oh, no, it's not.
Like screws alone.
Yeah. I feel okay with monetizing a bit, but I
You
don't want to
should.
overdo it.
Look, you shouldn't do anything you do well for free.
Yeah, I guess. I
If
mean,
you've put in time to invest in you to develop a skill and there's a market for it.
Yes.
Especially once you decide this is what you do for a living.
I wish it was just like, hey, we want to pay you because you're doing a great job.
Not how it works.
That's not how it works, though.
Ever.
I just feel, I guess the only thing that I feel bad about is like pushing random things to people like a little bit. It just feels a little, feels a little gross.
And that to me is why I'm picky about companies I work with, because I don't want to sell a thing I don't think I can sell. Mm-hmm. Because if it's not something I'm going to use or believe in, like I know I can't sell it.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing why I don't like the mid-roll ads on YouTube too much, is because it's like, I don't know what they're going to play to these people, and then they're interrupting my video to like, hey, buy the toilet seat light. Like, it's like, no, I don't think the video needs to be stopped for the toilet seat light for me to make 2 cents on you seeing it. Like,
I know. I agree with you, right? The problem is they're
beginning and
going
end,
to do it anyway.
Beginning and end, fine.
And they sell an option to not have to watch those.
And yes, exactly. I'm okay with the beginning and end, though. I don't have to be that guy who puts it there. Where I get fear, though, is that maybe YouTube really wants everybody to do the mid-roll ads. So
they pay more for them.
They pay more. They're getting more money.
So I get paid more for mid podcast ads than I do before and afters. Yep.
But also, what scares me, and that's fine. Like, that'd be cool to have the option if you want to make more money. But I'm fearful that they might throttle people who don't put ads in the middle, because you're not making them as much money.
I would have to assume they will.
Right. And it's scary because it's like, well, I don't want to fucking put them there. And I don't want you to bully me into putting them there.
So I deal with that a lot too. Like, with the brand and the way I think about things is, like, I think there's ways I could make more money, but they feel gross, right?
That's exactly what that is.
At some point, I've got to say, I don't want to play that game. And so I've got to be okay with the responsibility that comes from not playing that game.
Right.
But to me, it gets weird when you monetize in more than one way.
Went through another 30 minutes.
Did we already? Son of a bitch.
Wrap it up, damn it.
I know.
You keep trying to wrap it up, and then it doesn't wrap up.
No, I'm talkative as well, so.
Dude, I think it's because I'm talkative as well, too. So.
No, it's just great. Like, I think it's weird when you double dip monetization. So, like, it would be like if I had me running sponsored ads that I have to record for the video, me running a mid-roll, sponsors at the beginning and sponsors at the end, and I'm doing a Patreon.
Yeah, well,
you know, I can see that feeling like a lot.
I don't feel bad with the beginning stuff, though.
See, like, I can't justify to me doing a Patreon because I have sponsors that pay to be featured on my video.
Right. Oh, yeah, and it's like, well, what are they paying me for? Like, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
They get the videos early.
Right.
They get the videos early.
So, yeah, so is it just like you share the link with them as like unlisted?
I put it on there unlisted, and then lately, though, I get done so late. It's like Tuesday night at 1 in the morning or something.
You got the video 45 minutes before everyone else.
Lucky you. You get to wake up in the middle of the night. And it's like, but I mean, like everybody says, like, they're not paying you.
No. Like, and two, how people choose to spend their money is not your responsibility.
They're doing it because they really like the channel. They really like what you're doing.
That's rad.
They want to help out. They just want to help out. And it's
that's super rad.
That's nice.
I've taken part in Patreons on channels just because.
Yeah, you just like them. And they come and go. It's like you feel like doing it for a bit. Then you get off. It's like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. If they want to keep supporting me, it's like, and I give them, like, I'll give them a free t-shirt or whatever. Just make it, I don't know, so they can rep the channel that they're
any other weird obsessions outside of cycling?
I mean, music, huge. I mean, I write some of the songs for like the channel and stuff.
Right on, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's super rad.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. What I thought I was going to do was music. And then it was like, that's a lot of work and there's a lot of people doing that. I never took anything that I thought was oversaturated. I
also, look, man, if you're producing that content that is music, do you have just the music shareable, like on SoundCloud for people to... rad.
It's shitty because I didn't get it like mixed and mastered super well, so I feel kind of like that's one of those things where it's like... Damn
get
it.
better.
Right.
We'll do better on the next one. I don't need to spend 20 minutes fixing this one.
Hopefully with doing these videos once every 2 weeks now, I'll have time to actually maybe make more. I haven't made music in forever just because I don't have time. But
Sure.
Yeah, but that's a super big obsession.
And it's really tricky, too, to do this and then be like, okay, so Tuesday mornings I write music.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I don't ever want to get to that.
It seems like a good idea in my head, and then I realize I don't operate that way
No, it's just gotta I'm in the mood. Like, let's go do it. Yeah, and it always turns out way, way better. I can pretend what ends up happening if I do like that. Like, all right, tomorrow morning I'm heading into it. It's like 4 hours of just shit, and you're like, damn it, I just wasted 4 hours. Great, I should have
nothing.
Should have went and done what works.
Yeah. But no, it's exactly right, man. Well, dude, yeah, we're closing in way over probably 2 hours. Dude, this is rad. I definitely want to hang out more. I'm stoked to meet other rad people. I'm excited to meet some people that also don't have kids who live around St. Louis.
Yeah, hey,
that have time.
Yes, and I don't
we noticed that so much, like, because neither of us have real jobs.
Oh yeah,
we definitely want to come check out like the wolf sanctuary.
Dude,
that Dana works at. And stuff like that would be so rad.
And if you get her to like give you guys the tour and stuff,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
Dig
If
all
you're
that
into
type
wolves,
of stuff.
yeah. And we don't have any plans of having kids anytime soon.
Excellent.
So
it works out swimmingly for me.
And you're welcome out here anytime.
Well, good, because then we can travel and go to Bentonville, and we can.
Fuck yeah.
I'm trying to pick up some stand-up paddle boards. I think that's my next.
Stand-up paddle board.
Seems like a good time. I like doing water things. I need a water approach.
Get a kayak, or I don't know.
I like the idea that stand-up paddleboard I can deflate and I could put in that top carrier.
Ah, okay.
And so then I have them.
The deflatable ones make sense.
Look, I don't think I'm going on a stand-up paddleboard trip.
Okay.
But if we were on a trip and there was a rad lake, around. I'd be like, yo, let me get out the board and I can cruise around this place in Glacier National Park or, you know.
I don't know. Something watching the people on stand-up paddleboards is always like, what are you doing?
Dude, it's kind of fun, man.
It's
a weird feeling of like just cruising across the top of the water.
I bet it is, but it looks super fun.
Oh,
it looks so lame,
man.
I'm totally judging. I've never done it.
No,
I bet it's a blast.
It's totally acceptable.
I bet it's a blast.
Look, for me, it is a. So recently, I've gotten to do some like wake surfing.
Oh yeah, dude!
So, like behind the boat.
I used to do that when I was a kid a lot. That's fun.
And for me, I like being outside. Mm-hmm. And so stand-up paddleboards, along with like wake surfing. These are super low risk of injury.
Oh yeah.
High return on fun.
Yes, absolutely.
The return of investment for me here.
So are you doing like you're surfing the waves, or are you like getting pulled?
I'm somewhere between the two. I'm trying to surf the wave, but I'm not good at enough at it yet. So I'm using the rope to try to manage.
But you're like right behind the boat.
Yes, right behind. Not wakeboarding. Right. Not way in the back.
Yeah,
so
I guess that's the difference. Wake surfing, wakeboarding.
Yeah, wake surfing is like at a slow speed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is
you make the big old fat.
Rad.
Oh yeah. I've never done that, but
dude, it's a killer.
It looks rad.
It's the only thing I've ever done that I would like think about now wanting a boat.
Oh, like it's got you like.
It's fun.
I could get a boat.
So which I justify way easier is if I feel like it, I'll buy a wake surfing board.
Right.
And then I'll go to the Ozarks and rent a boat.
Oh, yeah.
For 3 days.
Yeah.
That's cheaper than owning a boat.
Yeah, exactly. For a little hobby
that I'm
thing
going
off
to
to the
use
side.
once a month at most. I don't live on a lake.
Yeah, maybe. You think once a month and it's like, well, we went once this year.
Like looking at property at the Lake of the Ozarks is sick. It's affordable.
Oh, is it?
Well, I mean, I guess that's reasonable. I guess, look, affordable is relative.
Yeah, that's true.
Like something...
It's not mind-blowingly expensive.
Something in the like $400,000 to $500,000 range. Like you can get lakefront, almost 3,000 square feet with a dock.
That's a nice place.
That's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, my uncle's got literally that, and it's like, damn.
I mean, it's super sick.
Yeah, if you're into the water stuff, that's definitely.
But there's got to be decent riding around there too. They've got elevation.
Yeah, it's right there. It's next to everything anyway.
Yeah, you're not far from Bentonville.
Yeah, you could drive.
You just go down there.
Go to Two Rivers Bike Park.
How is the one in Springfield?
Two Rivers?
Yeah.
It's pretty all right. I mean, it was made by an XC guy But yeah, it's fun, and they're doing a lot of stuff to it. I haven't been there too recently, but
Yeah, I've got
it's worth it.
I've
There's
got
a
a
lot.
buddy in Springfield, Coop, who has a YouTube channel, Garage Gym Reviews, and so he does gym equipment, and he's probably approaching 200K subscribers.
No shit.
So yeah,
Nice.
he's done a hell of a job with it.
Damn. And it's just garage.
Yeah, it
gym
just talks
review?
about like gym products that you would review for if you were trying to put a garage gym together.
Damn.
But now it's just basically, reviews any type of fitness equipment as it's got to grow.
Expands, yeah.
But it's a good channel. Guy does a great job with it.
And he's out there in Springfield.
Yeah, he's in Springfield.
Yeah, that's Two Rivers is 100% worth stopping by.
Okay.
There's a lot there.
We should definitely hit that at some point. That'd be fun.
That's a good place
we could make a day out of it.
Progress too.
All right.
And it's from here, it's like, I think it's 3 hours.
Yeah,
3 hour
not a big
drive,
deal.
3 hours and 20 minutes or something.
Okay.
It's worth it. It's
Well,
fun.
you leave there
early.
by 10 a.m.?
Yeah, leave early, and then you're cooked by 6 or
Perfect.
something. Yeah, you get the
Way
hell out.
before that, get Airbnb for the night and then
my
punch
God.
out.
Yep.
I'm
No.
ready. Fall starting?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I thought about this on the way to bike with you. Like, this is my first fall where I have time. And I can experience fall. Like, every other year of my life, I've either been in school or working.
Yeah,
This
right.
is my first, I get to be outside during fall. It's
pretty cool, man.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So the other thing I fully recommend do the roof tent.
Oh, yeah, the roof tent. I guess I could get one on the.
You could.
on the
So they
back
built
or
that rack
something.
that would go up and you could still fold up your tonneau cover.
Yeah.
And then just get that metal bar that would, don't put a camper shell.
Right.
So just do
it's
the
this-
bracket riser system
Oh, that would be a good idea.
and then run the tent on there. They're fun, man.
Yeah, and then you can just literally camp anywhere.
They're
that your truck
cool.
can go.
It's somewhere between like a tree house and a tent. That's how it feels.
Yeah, it looks that way.
It's awesome. Well, dude, we'll wrap this up. Where can people find all your stuff?
Backyard Trail Builds on YouTube and Instagram. Same thing. So,
Same thing.
Yep. Backyard-
Patreon's linked there. If you want to support, head over there and throw some bucks at him, man. He's got some shirts for sale. He's talked about doing perhaps a bike giveaway in the future.
Maybe. You might have me talked into
I
it.
think it's a good move, man. Somebody gets a cool bike.
Yeah.
I'll try to get one. The problem is, if I win, everyone thinks, even if I
Oh,
genuinely won,
they'd
you'd
be
have to pick someone else.
They'd hate you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You lied for sure.
Just who needed a free bike.
Yeah, I would. I'd literally have to pick somebody else. I'd be
You
like,
have to.
Shit.
Yeah, you would absolutely have to. You're like, hey, man, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
You can't
buddy.
win.
Yep.
Don't even enter.
You won. You can
Yeah.
just have that thought in your head.
No, it'd be terrible. The audience would lose it.
But yeah.
Dude, I appreciate this a ton, and let's hang out more.
Hell yeah. This was fun.
Hell
This
yeah,
is good.
dude. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.